What's up, guys? It's Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the MotoXpod.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I could find a way to avoid this fate, could be a story.
All right, we are back with the Vital MX MotoXpod. Week 2 of Pro Motocross, round 2 of the Pro Motocross Championship has come and gone. Yamaha Motor USA just crushing it. Hayden Deegan winning the overall in 250s. Eli Tomac getting a dominant ride in Moto 1. J-Coop got a whole shot. Lachlan Turner takes the points lead in the WMX. Just so much Yamaha Motor USA success. It's awesome. Thanks to Yamaha Motor USA, who, as you guys know, has a reputation for what, TJ?
For winning.
Dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over how many years?
Like all of them.
50 years of experience of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship winning bikes and made them even better because the best don't
Rest.
rest.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Good job, TJ. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com, or better yet, go to your local dealership. Check out all that Yamaha has to offer, including watercraft. You know, maybe go to your, like here in Tyler, you go to Broadway Yamaha and check out you made a funny face. That's the only Yamaha shop I can think of.
You
You can check out a YZ 450F or 250F. You can check out like
I thought he was calling like the Wave Runners.
I was going to say a Wave Runner, and you can check out a piano.
Yeah.
Sure, right? I'm sure they have them in the corner, probably in the back. No? Yes?
You got to talk to us without introducing us?
No, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm all over the place. It's a weird night tonight.
Yeah.
So Pro Motocross Championship has come and gone. Jed and Hayden once again win. We're gonna get to some racing talk. Not a ton of racing talk tonight because there's a lot of other stuff to talk about in the intro anyway. Well, we will get to our guests, Casey Cochran and Parker Ross. But yes, before we get rolling, in studio as always, Scotty Thompson, running the cameras, YouTube chat, trying to figure out what HCR is.
Yeah.
I don't think
in the chat.
Yeah, we still don't know. It's okay.
They don't want to tell you because they don't like you.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I Googled it. It says something like human chatbot relation.
I doubt that's what they're talking about, but
who knows?
But anyways,
what's up?
How does it like? Do you feel good with being your month? Like this is your month.
I know what you're trying to say, and I don't really know why you're trying to go there. I mean, what is?
Just thought it was funny.
Why are you being hateful? Like,
I'm not.
What if I was?
I'm
gay?
proud of you.
What if I was?
Yeah, then it's your month.
Wait, you're not.
So, okay, we're going to also in studio, TJ Smith is back. We're going to talk in a little while at some point tonight about the week you just had because you did some cool stuff. But thanks for being back and not just disappearing on the show like you did last week.
Hey, I drove halfway across the country to be here.
Last week you drove halfway across the country to not be here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, yes, as I said, we're kicking off the Yamaha Motor USA opening chat. And, Scotty just disappeared, and we needed to do the pulp thing, but we can wait a minute. That's fine. Speaking of, listening to Pulp last night, they brought up the whole conversation about the Gay Pride Month and the post and all that. I don't want to get into that. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But Steve had an incredible drop where he said, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like, "What, these writers don't like me because I'm gay?" And I instantly texted Marks, "Clip that."
Did he clip it?
He's like, "What? Which part?" Because he's barely listening.
Right.
He's doing other stuff. I told him what it was. He's like, "Oh, that's great." So hopefully he gets that. But speaking of my friend Steve Mathis and Pulp MX, I don't know, Scotty, a month or so ago, we got hammered a little bit by a caller that was like, "Hey, when we had an audio issue with Chase," and I freak out, as we know.
Yeah, I caught a lot of shrapnel from that and didn't do anything.
All they
with
said
it.
was Chase was complaining. That's not a lot of shrapnel. Come on.
No,
They said Scotty.
Yeah.
They said Scotty was complaining.
No,
or,
they
or
said
I think Kiefer said
that I fucked
Scotty.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Regardless, in the last couple of weeks, the Pulp Mix show has had some issues. Why don't you play that little clip for me?
Turn me up a little bit. Turn me up a little bit when you can. It's your equipment. It's not my shit.
Turn them on.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Hmm.
That's better. That's better. Right there. You got some new headphones?
I got new headsets, but Lewis had a problem last week. He said he couldn't hear it. So then, right before the show, I stream music. I put those on. I can hear the music.
It's not great. Yeah, it's not great.
What's wrong with it?
It just feels like it's not as loud in my ears.
Needs more snare. Okay.
Need more cowbell. Need more cowbell.
He's more
Put those on again. Put those on again right now.
These?
Let's
We
try.
should have did this before the show.
Well, I thought it worked. I tried it. I heard music.
Why are you yelling at me? Hold on.
Okay. Okay. How's this? Well, I'm not on. Well, okay. Well, turn them on.
Now. That's better. Here we go. Now you can turn me down. Now you can turn me down a little bit. That'd be great.
So.
All right, I think that's it. So just having a little fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's not as easy
It
as it would
happens.
appear.
I mean,
Steve Mathis.
He's only been doing it for like, I guess,
37 years.
well, it's actually probably going on 17 years for him.
Well, we've been doing it almost
10
so
next
yeah.
year.
But yeah, I just want to give a little bit of that back because now he did not freak out like I do.
Oh, you forgot over everything.
Yeah.
So, but
That's might be the
But
problem.
regardless, the point is, we all have our issues. Okay.
Wait, was that referring to the gay pride thing? We all have our issues. Yeah, moving on.
Anyway,
No, my God. My
let's
joke was
start
fun. Yours was
with
hurtful.
first of all, if you're just listening to this post and not watching it, you didn't get to see that clip. Maybe you saw it on Pulp last night, so I apologize for just the audio. But if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show. And if you listen to Pulp MX, you know this information already. If you did not listen to the Pulp show yet, we've got some news. Yesterday morning, I got a call, and Michael Lindsay is my boss, and we had a little meeting, and Vital has decided to let me go. No, as far as I know, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just, hey, they're making some changes, making some changes. Let's go with that. A couple people were kind of getting let go. There's a video guy that they had to let go, and I'm getting let go.
Budget concerns.
Moving on, and I'll figure out. Still don't really know exactly what my future holds, but we got some options. So in the future, though, with the show, for our listeners, one, if you discovered us on Vital, we want you to come with us. If you were with us before, we want you to follow us back. But we will be putting the show back on its own MotoXpod feed through SoundCloud.
I'd like to say for the people who did find us through Vital or whatever, the show's been around for 10 years. We had our own standalone deal. You got hired on with Vital, and they were awesome enough to bring us into their network and host the show on their stuff, as and it helped out the show quite a bit. And now since you're not going to be there, searching gainful employment there, then we're going to go back to the MotoXpod show. Will be standalone again on YouTube and on, like you said, SoundCloud and Spotify and all the places again. So we will probably on social media and different places. We'll start posting up links for that here coming up shortly. But we have a few weeks, probably about 6 weeks or so before.
Well, my last official day is July 15th.
Yeah.
So Vital is kind enough to give me basically 6 weeks of time.
Yep.
And and they're going to continue paying me. And there's a lot of other things that Vital did that was really on the up and up that's helping this show out.
We have no hard feelings.
I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it. Not too many specifics, but a lot of our equipment that has improved during my time at Vital is thanks to Vital's budget and things that they helped us with, and they're allowing us to keep a lot of the equipment. And so, I'm not no harsh feelings. I mean, I'm sad, and it feels like a little bit of a nightmare, but I'm not angry at anybody. I want nothing but the best for Vital, and I've become really good friends with people there, and like Lewis and I talk every day, and I want nothing but the best for those guys. But we're the goal as of now is to create a new website. We did have a website in the past. It's probably going to, if we can get the rights to MotoXpod.com, that's what we would like it to be. The show will be there. We'll have the MotoXpod YouTube going again. Mm-hmm. So the live feed will go through there. We'll clip the show like we've done on Vital when there's high points, and we'll probably also go in a different direction. Like we get a lot of feedback when we do off-road stuff, so we'll start doing more off-road things and try to try to just
I'm
do things
excited
a little
about that.
different. And with the website, that I would like, maybe we'll all add some content. There'll be stories. I'll continue to try to do interviews, one-on-ones, and we'll just try to build something out of this, and where even if I end up taking a regular quote unquote job here locally, the goal is to keep this thing going and keep doing things. A number of the sponsors on this show have expressed that they're going to stay with us and continue to support the show. And we're working on that. So yeah, I guess that's a big deal. It's still a lot I'm processing.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah. I mean, it happened yesterday, like I said, 11 o'clock our time Central. Yeah. So it's, Scotty, I mean, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go because we can't afford you anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have that much.
I'm so expensive.
No, but so yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or thoughts, it's still MotoXpodshow@gmail.com is the email. Why are you laughing?
I was just thinking that I'm the only one here who's never been like paid by Vital for anything, so I cannot technically. The both of y'all technically kind of got fired, and you know what I mean.
I was just thinking of the scene from Talladega Nights, where it's like you just lost your job, you lost your wife, you want to lose your best friend too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. We really hope that you guys will follow us over and stick with us, and yeah, build it because we're gonna need you guys. Honestly, I mean, not that we don't need you now, but
yeah,
independently for us to keep this thing going and keep sponsors, we're gonna have to have numbers, and that's what it's all about, right? Clicks and numbers, and and I was thinking like right now on Vital, what we do is like if the first interview or second interview is really good, I'll clip it, I'll cut it down to about 10 minutes. And use that as like a short, even though it's not really short, it'd be 10 minutes. But like we have so much fun with the TBolt USA top 5 that we can start clipping that of us just talking smack and post that. And I think that, and we could do stuff on social.
And we could be more inappropriate.
Well, no, not if we want to be demonetized on YouTube.
Oh,
but I just think we can do a few things more that maybe we didn't do at our time with Vital, and we can do more with amateurs because. Or privateers. It's just, I think there's an opportunity to do some cool things and do things with a lot of off-road. And some of the sponsors that we have now have talked to me about that. Like if we could branch out and push more stuff off-road, that they would probably be willing to even up the budget a little bit. So that's our goal, guys. So not real quick. We got about 15 minutes before we get Casey on. Let's talk about Hangtown a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to start with not so much the results, but a question I have, and I think it's the first question number one on YouTube.
It's been up already.
Okay, cool. So I want to, obviously Jet and Eli in the 450 class are the favorites. Those are the guys we really expect to win. Chase, I think, is supposed to be back. Redbud, I think is what, if I'm not mistaken, what Lewis posted.
Well, somebody posted up there that it was Southwick, and then...
Well, that came from Ian Harrison directly to... Lewis.
No, I'm saying and then Sexton replied to that basically that it would be Redbud, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But I think then yes. Okay. Then Lewis made a post about that, I believe. Yeah. But regardless, the point is of the guys racing right now, really specifically Justin Cooper and Aaron Plessinger, even maybe in their career, not necessarily this season, who do you think of those two guys will be the first one to get a moto win? Not even overall, a moto win. Neither one of them has had a moto win yet.
AP.
Okay.
I mean,
why?
He's been the closest multiple times.
Okay. Right? Scotty, I know you're doing something. Are you listening, or are you busy?
Go ahead.
You want me to ask the question again?
Please.
He's working.
Yeah, I know he is. Justin Cooper, Aaron Plessinger. Who of those two guys would be the first to get a moto win? And do you have a specific reason?
Because he just almost did it.
Okay. Just because of that.
I think he has more raw speed.
And I'll tell you, my answer right now is probably AP too. I'm just curious as to why.
I think AP has more raw speed. In saying that though, and kind of thinking about it, like J Coop is really good at Thunder Valley, and if he gets a hole shot, he very well could. He did it last year.
Yeah.
So he has won one. AP hasn't. So you could kind of argue that too.
Say he's won. No, Coop, I don't think Justin's got a moto.
Did he not? I thought he won one of the motos last year.
I could be wrong, but I didn't think he had.
I'll go back and look.
Okay.
Yeah, like at Thunder Valley, right?
Yeah. You may be right.
So
I forgot that.
As of recency bias, I'll say AP, but you could make arguments for J Coop too.
So just looking at average finishes, I probably should have done this as an overall, but I want to do moto. But when you look at their average finishes in the last 13 races, so that's all of last season and the 2 this season, AP is at 3.76 average finish, just under 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Cooper's 4.92, so just under 5. But they each have 10 top 5s, both. And then AP has 7 podiums, while Justin Cooper only has 3.
Yeah, AP is. I just think that he has. He just a better rider right now. I'm not saying he will always be, obviously, or whatever. And like it feels weird. I feel like I'm saying something negative about what's it called?
Justin Cooper?
Justin Cooper, but I don't mean it that way.
No, it's just
AP right now is just faster. But if Justin Cooper started beating him and started getting on the podium, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I think they're the same person, just completely different, like the opposite side of one coin.
And Justin Cooper's much younger in his 450 career and still figuring things out. And I think Justin Cooper's going to win races at some point. AP should have Hangtown the last 2 years. He should have won a moto. Just so freaking close.
Now that I'm saying that, it's funny because they literally are exact opposite personalities. But they are the same rider.
Yeah.
They are the same rider with different personalities, like opposite.
Well, I want to get your guys' thoughts on that in our emails, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. But yeah, I think right now Aaron Plessinger is clearly a little bit better and come very close. And this is the best AP we've ever seen.
I never realized AP was so skinny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you know what I mean. Like once you see, I was like, I never paid attention until this weekend when he was drenched in sweat and all that. I was like, he looks like Ichabod Crane.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You didn't notice how skinny he was. He was dripped in sweat.
It's that month.
What? we need a counter on how many times we mentioned the month joke this week. This show.
Wow, man, I wasn't even going there.
He said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Did you say? I didn't hear it. I think AP also, but again, like you said, if Justin Cooper were to go out, even if he went out to win, if he won overall, I'd be a little surprised. But a moto win from either of those guys would not be a surprise right now. It's cool to see the top 2 are pretty far ahead of the other guys most of the time, but seeing guys like Justin Cooper and AP stepping up this season is still an exciting series. Well, not that at some point I feel like the excitement's gonna go away.
I think
unfortunately
it's super impressive on AP's part that he held off Jet and Eli for that long and had that gap. Like that's like he didn't win the race, so that's kind of the talking point. But his pace and what he did in that first moto is that his most impressive ride? Almost.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's riding the best he ever has. I think.
Yeah,
even more impressive than Hangtown last year in moto.
For Tomac to have to be 2-3 seconds behind him for that long and not just straight up just naturally catch him, I thought I couldn't believe that, to be honest.
Yeah,
like, that was insane.
Lewis's interview with him. Did you listen to it? Where he was just basically, even he said, I was going way faster this time than I was last.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and hopefully that continues.
And then one thing I know we got other stuff to cover, but if you think about it, him and Barsha and other riders who are good in the mud also seem to sometimes excel when it gets kind of dry, hard pack, and slick. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of throttle control.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. But you wouldn't think that with Barsha as much as he's on the rev limiter.
No.
But I'm just saying, like those guys do really well. Like K-Dub and all those guys.
And I think tonight we're not really going to get into anything else too much as far as the specific racing. You guys can listen to the Vital MX post-race show.
Yeah.
ML and Lewis did that because there's other things I want to get to tonight. I do want to touch on a topic about the race, though, the cutting the 5 minutes to the second motos.
Yeah, fine.
Right, yeah. Okay, we've seen – look, man, I love Debo, right? Yeah. I like a lot of – there's a lot of people, though, Weston Pike, love Weston Pike.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like, oh, how tough we were back in the day type stuff still. And at this point, for me, my thought process on this, and if our listeners disagree, is what it is. I feel like we've come a long way with our knowledge of health issues and the damage that can be done to athletes or people. And even like look at concussions, right? Yeah. 15 years ago, you knock your head and they're like, well, get back out there and race. But we're smarter now. We're more concerned with our riders' health. Like, okay, great. You raced 30 minutes 10 years ago, and Jeff Ward's like, we raced 45 minutes 30 years ago.
Right.
Good for you, man. Like, I want these guys to be healthy all the way through the season.
The difference is most of these people who are complaining about it haven't watched their kid have a heat stroke, and then the effect of how long that lasts. I mean, I've seen that firsthand, and I have no problem.
They also weren't as tough and gnarly as they were. The speed and the heart rate that these guys are at now, that they're pushing themselves to, it's not comparable. Like what they're pushing their physical body limits to now, I'm sorry, it's more than it was in 1984.
There's probably some truth to that, but I don't even care about that. If that was all equal.
And global warming.
Like, the reality is there are health hazards with putting yourself in those situations. So if you can cut 5 minutes off, and that means that a percentage of these riders are going to make it the whole season instead of half the season, I'm fine with that. If we don't have another Josh Lichtel issue, I'm okay with cutting
people
5.
Have died.
Huh?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
People have died.
I'm fine with cutting 5 minutes off. We had a 25-minute +2 awesome race.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal.
I didn't think
Why
so.
are we making a big deal out of, like, we got to be, quote unquote, the baddest dudes on the planet?
But
Shut
we are.
the fuck up.
I thought I heard that it's in the rule book that if it reaches a certain heat index, that the race has to be shortened.
They said that on the broadcast, but that has to be like a pro rule, because I don't believe that's actually in
AMA
the
rule.
the AMA amateur side. I don't think
that
it is.
also is just doesn't really matter with this argument. It's just like, let's take care of our athletes.
That's right. No,
that's the bottom line.
I think we're just no big deal. Let's move on. It was hotter, and I guarantee you look at. I mean, look at Deegs' first moto, and then second moto, he was in the Porta John. Or no, it was Shimoda was in the Porta John throwing up, and Deegs couldn't even make it to the podium. These guys were smoked.
Yeah.
They made the right choice. Let's move on.
My only issue with the being shortened 5 minutes was that it happened to be the one race that probably all season that Tomac started 26th.
Right.
It's like,
it would have been cool, but he also
went
I
down.
don't.
he went down.
There was a point where he wasn't making up time anymore, really. Anyway.
Well,
so
yeah.
it's
I
like,
think after he went down, he hit a.
Yeah.
It was too hot. But that was my only. And that's just a timing ironic issue that has nothing to do with the actual decision.
Well, that's been the Yamaha Motor USA opening chat. Let's quickly. I told you guys we probably.
There and to all the people saying that, they asked the riders too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so all the people that are like, "Whoa," that
the people complaining don't care. They're like, "Well, they're."
Yeah, no, I
think
think it was the right move.
Yeah, I do too. 100%. I feel like it was the right move. I told you we weren't going to get into the ProX Vital MX fantasy, but you want to do that real quick?
No, because mine was terrible.
Good.
No,
That's a good reason to do it then.
Yeah, mine was good, so let's do it.
ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Find ProX at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com. Search for parts for your bike. And I also believe that ProX supports, or ProX supports, the MXGP podcast of Vinyl MX. And,
and they can say
Adam
ProX
and
there.
Lewis. Yes. But either way, ProX or ProX, we appreciate their support on Vital.
Christians.
And the MXGP podcast is one of the best podcasts on the market. So thanks to ProX for that.
there.
But, okay. The Vital MX fantasy game. If you guys aren't playing, you should sign up. It is a lot of fun. This week, I had 174 points with 10 riders.
Beat you.
Our winner for the MotoXpod League was, it looks like it's Leon Tiew. Leon Tew? With 256 points, 11 riders. I didn't write down the Leon's riders, but I had Benny Bloss with 0. Dante Oliveira, man, I went in not thinking he was going to crush, and he got me 3 points. And
better than Benny did.
So anyway, Scotty, what'd you get?
I got 216.
Wow,
and I was.
That's good. How many riders do you have?
I think 8. Let me go back to my team.
TJ, what was your score?
186.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I suck.
You do.
I
I
had
so
Haymaker too,
I think
Why you got
I
fired.
think the I think
you got
that
fired before I did.
That's true.
Like 12 times since I've had a job.
I think that in Supercross, having more riders spread out is kind of the play. But I think in motocross, kind of going back to the 6 or 7 guys that you know are going to get because it's double points. I think that's kind of the play because let's see here. Let me pull my team up, and that was with I did good, and I probably would have done even better if Tomac had done what he did in the first moto and the second moto because I had Tomac, Justin Cooper, RJ, Joey Savacci, Joe Shimoda, Garrett Marchbanks, and Ryder D. Ryder D was my lowest scoring points with 9 points.
Well, good for you. I had a bunch of zeros, so yeah, good.
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to getting to picking a guy that's going to go like 7-7, like that's
Well, I did to some degree. I had Haymaker, who I thought would be in that area. Benny Bloss, I thought would certainly get points both motos. So yeah, I mean,
but Benny Bloss is going to get what, like maybe 15th.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's true. I don't know why you're hating on Benny Bloss, but sorry, Benny, I know you're listening.
Well, he's only doing one-off races, so
I just got a text from Benny. He said, "F you."
They said Steve on their race review said something about he was the lowest finishing beta rider, and there was 2 other guys in front of him.
Benny's not happy right now. Like legitimately not happy right now.
Not happy with the bike or
no with
his
I
riding.
think with Steve.
Oh,
I think he found his limit of he's tired of hearing about that.
That's when Steve doubles down and goes even more. So
yeah, I don't think Benny's stoked at the moment. So I want to get into your situation, TJ, but we've only got about 4 minutes before we got to get Casey on. How about J Mart?
Right? Like
J Mart is done until now Spring Creek, and that'll be the end of his career.
Oh, he's not doing liquid?
Nope. He decided.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he announced it today. I actually saw it from Lewis first.
Gotcha.
And then I saw an official post, I think from J Mart, maybe on ProMotocross.com.
He's just gonna do
Spring Creek, his home race with Star, and that'll be the end of his career.
And back to UPS or whatever he was doing.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. Yeah, like I think was it Steve that said going from like blue to back to brown?
Yeah.
Something like somebody said that. I don't remember.
What blue can do for you, to brown can do for you, or something.
Yeah. Was that Kiefer that said that?
Something like that.
Yeah. Either way. So that's interesting.
I mean,
go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Kobush.
I know.
How rad was that,
dude? Because so the people who don't know, Kobush is a local boy. He lives here in East Texas, trains out here, and we've all, well, at least I've known him for a long time, and that was really cool. I didn't know at first if Deegan was actually like being a dick, but they come to find out they somewhat know each other. So it was like a.
He does know Kobush?
Yeah, they know each other.
I was going to say, though, that whether he knew him or not, like Kobush doing that, like if you're a privateer guy and you pull a whole shot, totally acceptable to pull a move like that. And I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I would probably do something like that.
Yes.
But that was hilarious. And then Deeg passing him and just happened to be in the exact same spot that he did it the first time. I thought that I know people are going to be like, oh, Deegs is a jerk or whatever. Like I thought that was very entertaining. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious, and it was just a cool moment. Like that kind of stuff is what the sport needs. Is like little funny tidbit stuff like that.
And I'm not sure of this, so I could be talking a little bit out of school, but I'm pretty positive he wound up having bike problems why he fell back so far.
Kobush did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he smoked himself a little bit too, but it was pretty.
I think it was bike problems.
Yeah, but it was cool. I agree. I was stoked seeing Lance up there and being excited, and it was fun. But we got our guest on, so we can ask him about this. But our first guest of the night is going to be brought to you by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. And they have over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Racetech Gold Valves provide a plush feel with drastically improved bottoming resistance and increased traction. All Racetech products are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. Go to racetech.com, find your local service center, get your suspension serviced, get to know your local tech. They will make your bike better. Tonight, Racetech brings us from Factory Gas, Casey Cochran. What's up, Casey?
What's going on? How are you guys?
We're good, man. How about you? How you doing? You ride today?
Oh, no, not today. Took it easy today.
Well, good, man. We need you to take it easy so that when you get to Lakewood, we can get some more lap sled. That was awesome.
Yeah, I gotta work on the stamina a little bit, but it felt good to be up there.
So let's start. I have a question kind of about that I was going to ask towards the end, but let me ask you now. Would you rather, is it better for you to lead a few laps like you did and then lose pace and kind of be smoked a little bit versus running 7th consistently but not moving up, not, dropping, just kind of staying there consistent? What helps you with race pace and learning better?
Oh, for sure, being up front. I think being up there, like getting the whole shot and leading and being up front with those guys is definitely like a huge step for learning, just running that pace. And I mean, the first moto I was, I don't know, in the top 3 for like 20, 25 minutes, I think. So running that pace for that long is what I need. And then just to build on that is, I think, the most valuable for sure.
Are you at all surprised that you were able to lead laps like that? Like, did you feel coming into this outdoor season that, hey, this is a possibility? I could have that speed for a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I know I have the ability to run up front and have the pace with the top guys. I just knew with, coming off of a couple injuries and not having a good, like, solid base built, I would be a little behind the 8 ball on fitness. And with it being so hot this past weekend, obviously that showed a little bit, but I've always been pretty confident in my speed, and I feel like I've qualified well the first 2 rounds, and that showed. So yeah, not a huge surprise, but it feels good to be out there.
Yeah, you mentioned coming off the injury, you broke your leg back in November heading into Supercross, so almost no racing this weekend. When you're training and coming back from an injury like that, and you're not actually getting gate drops, meaning the intensity of your practice is not the same as a race pace. How do you kind of manage that, knowing, hey, my race pace is probably, the intensity is not going to be there right away?
Yeah, for sure. And I had probably about, 6 to 6, 7, 8 weeks around that area of riding, like in general before. And, 4 weeks of that, a month of that was pretty low intensity. I mean, not anything crazy coming off of being off the bike for so long. So it was pretty low stuff and just kind of trying to get back in the swing. So high intensity stuff, I haven't had too much time on it. So getting out front like that and building it is going to be huge for the following rounds.
Yeah, because I was actually just thinking about this. I said no Supercross, but you haven't raced up until this season since August of last year, right? That was the last Unadilla?
Yeah, Unadilla was the last gate drop. So Jeez. I did like the math, like the day of, I think it was like 279 days or something. So
yeah, that's a long time. Now, you may or may not care, but I talked to Styles Robertson yesterday, and I mean, he's been a lot longer than you, so at least there's that. Well, he did do A1, but he's been out for almost 2 years, so at least it's not that bad.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Casey, you mentioned at the beginning that you weren't riding today. Would you normally ride on a Tuesday, or because of the conditions and the extent that you guys had to push your body on Saturday, was that more of the reason why today was taken off?
Yeah, that was definitely the factor, because we would normally ride on Tuesdays during the week, but everyone was pretty fried from the weekend, so we got an extra rest day.
How is the recovery process when you get pushed to that far, and is that one of the farthest that you've ever been pushed physically like that?
It's definitely up there. After the last, I don't know, even looking at like the lap charts, I was the first moto, I was in 7th going into the last lap, and then I tipped over and dropped like 5 positions. So that sucked for the first moto. And then the second moto, I was right around 7th or 8th again. And then I went off the track like 5 times on the last lap because I was like almost passing out. So, and then like that was definitely pushing it to the limit and just trying to make it to the end. So, yeah, it was so close to being like a much better result than I had, being without the mistakes in the last like 2 laps of both motos. But yeah, overall not too bad.
So you talked about like racing, like how long it's been since you've had gate drops. I remember you in the amateurs. I remember like one Daytona, you were racing the vintage race. Like you raced a lot as like on super minis and small bikes and stuff. Like, how is that transition now to where you're only racing like I know it's the season's long, but I promise you raced a heck of a lot more when you was on little bikes. What's like, is that changed now that you're older? Do you wish you get to do those races and stuff now?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about going back and how much I raced then and then how much I race now. I think about it, and during season, especially the outdoor season, it's so busy. I mean, it's a lot of or not too many rounds. It's only 11, but there's weekends back to back that are 4 weekends in a row. And as an amateur, I raced a lot, but it was more like you race and then you're off for 2 weeks and then you race and then there was the 3 spring national runs in a row that were like back to back weekends. But once I realized like mid-season as a pro, you don't have time to go do anything else really. I mean, you're tired from the weekend during the week, so you're just trying to recover, and then you go do it again. And then when it's an off weekend, you're like, I just want to do nothing, you know? Yeah. So when you're an amateur, you have those 2 weekends off. And so like maybe you go play golf or go do this. And then you don't realize when you don't get that as a pro, because it's more as a season, obviously. But then you have off season, which as an amateur, there's not really a major off season. So it's just different, and definitely something to adjust to.
That being said, like you do, and obviously, like it was so awesome. Like I was there when you were doing those vintage races at Daytona. Are you going to be? You think your future, looking forward, holds you to being like a Mike Brown who continues racing when you get older, or are you like, yeah, once this is done, I think I'm just going to like take a break and not ride for a while?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I don't think. I definitely know I love riding my dirt bike, so I'm sure I'll have a dirt bike for the rest of my life and race.
It's a little too early to ask that.
Well, no, there's kids his age now that have like quit racing, that were top level amateurs, kids that he grew up racing that were like, as soon as they were done.
But do you think he's thinking about that right now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
negative,
but he says he loves riding his dirt.
Casey. TJ's an idiot.
But he says he loves riding his dirt bike. And sometimes like okay, here's a question, Casey.
Just mess with you.
Would you go do a pit bike race right now?
Oh.
Like just like if you had an off weekend and your buddies were to go pit bike race, or would you be like, nah, I don't want to ride?
Oh, I would do it.
There you go. So that's the mentality.
But Mike Brown, that guy's an animal. He races so much. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. He's something special for sure. Let me ask you this, Casey. You were talking about this a little bit ago. I want to know, coming from the amateurs to the pro ranks, what's been more difficult to adjust to? The schedule that you sort of just talked about, or the fact that everybody you line up against versus 2 or 3 in the amateurs is at that high pace, that top notch?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think they're both definitely the biggest aspects of adjusting to pro. I mean, you look at amateur racing, when you're racing, there's four or five good dudes, and everyone else is good, but they're not like top level. So if you get a bad start, it's easier to work through. Like I had a moto at Loretta's in the 125 class. I was dead last and then got second. So it's like that is so much different than being dead last on a pro race with, I mean, everyone that you're racing is the best in the world, and they could probably go, I mean, everyone in the top 25 could probably go contend for a Loretta's title in pro sport or something.
Sure.
So it's people don't realize how deep the field is, and it's kind of crazy to adjust to that. And then obviously the travel, I mean, being on a plane every single weekend back to back, flying there and back is huge, because you think about you race on the weekend, but then you have to stay till Sunday. You don't get back till Sunday night. You're flying in 2 days before to get acclimated or whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely, those are the two biggest adjustments for sure.
Casey Cochran tonight, brought to you by Racetech, racetech.com. Again, go find your local service center, get your suspension revalve, at least get the oil changed. check those guys out. Get to know your local tech.
Yeah, Casey, speaking of your transition from amateur to pro, if we told you before your pro super or motocross career that you were going to battle Lance Kobush in the second moto of Hangtown, it'd be like, okay, I guess. But the question I wanted to ask from that is, when you pull a whole shot like that and you're leading the race, what is that adrenaline like versus maybe starting like 10th or 11th and there's like 8 guys around you just all going balls to the wall and it's kind of chaotic? What is kind of the verses and the different types of adrenaline on those two situations?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's crazy that being out front or near the front is so much more. You're leading, obviously, but it's so much more of a calm environment because you can kind of do what you want and go where you want. And you're like, oh, I'm leading, but you can kind of ride how you want to ride. And then when you're, I don't know, in 8 to 12 area, I mean, everyone is just sending it. You're getting roosted, people left, right. You make a small mistake, there goes 3 people. Or, I mean, it's a lot more hectic, and I think it makes it so much tougher coming or starting in that range or even further back for sure.
Yeah. Hey, coming into this season, coming off that injury that we talked about previously, were your goals? Did you have a goal of a position you wanted to be, or was it sort of with the team, let's get through this healthy and build and prep for 26 or what? I mean, because I don't even think you're not signed for next year, right? You're open right now.
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm sure that had an effect on what your goals were. So yeah, what were your goals?
Yeah, I definitely have. I mean, kind of these first 3, my goals, like position wise, which I try not to think about too much. I just go out and do the best I can and leave it all out there. But if I had something in the back of my mind, I was like just top 10s. Like some single digit finishes is what I really wanted. And I think just growing up on the East Coast, the first 3 are the ones I struggle with the most. And then once we go east, I feel a lot more comfortable. So just my goals were to get top 10 finishes through these first 3 and then maybe even up and up from there.
Okay, well, yeah, you're not far off that, right? 12th at Fox, 11th at Hangtown, led some laps. So I think the leading the laps averages those outside the top 10 finishes up a little bit to what you're getting. So yeah, you're not far off, I don't think, where you wanted to be.
Yeah, not too far off. I wish I wouldn't have had those mistakes at this past weekend, and it definitely would have been a better result. But hindsight's 2020, and not much I can do now.
Well, we just got to move forward, right? So moving forward, what does it take? What's it going to take? You kind of mentioned conditioning, but to run that pace and be up front, let's say even just top 5, top 7 every week, what do you need?
I think it comes down to a lot of I just got to keep getting good starts and putting myself in those positions. And I think when I actually felt really strong late in the moto at Fox, which I think is probably because it wasn't as hot. And I think that helped me a little bit. But I think just putting myself consistently up in the front and giving opportunities, and the more I race and the more I put myself in that position, that base is going to continue to build, and I think it'll just get better and better.
Okay.
Casey, is these last 2 weeks the kind of hard-packed, drier conditions that we've experienced? Is that a little bit of the result of your leading and stuff like that, or are you looking forward to going to more East Coast rutted, thicker track conditions, or what is your strong suit and ride on track type?
I'm definitely looking forward to going east. I've grown up on the East Coast my whole life and always ridden more ruddy, technical tracks that are a little loamier. So that's just kind of what I feel the most comfortable on riding, and I feel the most uncomfortable on hard, slick, like not much to turn off of, like chattery kind of conditions. So I'm definitely looking forward to going east.
So when you do find yourself leading races at Hangtown, and not being in the ideal condition, was that a little bit of surprise to you, or is it just kind of the circumstance that you're like, I'm getting hole shots and leading?
I actually, Hangtown is one of my better like hard pack tracks, so I actually had good vibes coming in, and I think maybe that helped with like qualifying or leading laps, and I was just focused on, like, during racing, is just being out front and seeing how many laps I could lead.
Yeah, I dig it, and I'm looking forward to Lakewood coming up, and I think that's to me that's better dirt than certainly. I've never rode Hangtown, but I've rode Fox, Paula, whatever you want to call it, and I don't like that place. Hangtown I actually like a little bit, so that should be good. I actually have 2 more questions I want to get to. I personally have. I don't know if the other guys have anything, but we talked about at the beginning of the show before you came on the 5 minutes that they cut off in the second motos, and I'm sure you've seen some of the reactions from some of the ex-pros, and you know, and my point was, I think we've educated ourselves over the last 10, 15 years, and we know that we need to take care of our athletes. And, you know, yeah, you guys could have went another 5 minutes, but maybe 3, 4, 5% of the field doesn't make it to the end of the season, you know, if they get heat exhaustion or whatever. So why not take care of our athletes? We still had a 25-minute race that was fantastic. Yeah, where do you fall on this?
I actually, like, pre-moto, team manager was asking, like, do you want to cut it? Like, they're kind of asking, and I was like, I don't really care. Like, I'll run the whole thing, and if they want to cut it, they can. So I wasn't really leaning any direction, but looking back, I'm not upset that they did, because it was definitely hot out there.
like you could have finished it, but that other 5 minutes, maybe that, you know, you don't know. Maybe that puts your body into, you know, heat exhaustion or heat stroke, or you just don't know. And like, to me, that's not worth it, right? I mean, we just need to take care of you guys. I mentioned this, it's no different than concussions. 20 years ago, a guy hits his head, and, you know, a coach or a team manager says, well, you can race, you're fine. And we know now that's not the case. We're smarter than we were 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think overall it was probably the good move, the best option for, I mean, the conditions and how brutal it was out there. I think it was a good idea.
All right, let's close with this. We just talked about you're a free. You don't have a contract for 26. Have you got talks? Do you have an idea? Do you feel secure for 26? Do you feel like you've got somewhere to go?
Yeah, I feel confident that I'll be racing next year. I'm pretty confident that my agent could put something together, and we'll be racing. So I'm not too stressed about it.
Oh, go ahead, Scotty.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was looking at your Instagram, and I saw that you mentioned golf too, and I was looking at your golf videos, just seeing what the score's like right now. Man, I'm the only golfer in the show, so I have to be the one that asks the questions.
Oh man, I'm playing some of the best golf of my life right now. Actually, I shot my best round like 2 weeks ago in California, 73, 1 over.
Oh,
so
that is good, Casey.
Yeah, it's feeling really good, and I mean, you know how golf is. It's up and down, but I'm just trying to get the handicap down. I'm sitting at like a 6-7 right now. So
that's pretty dang good. I think the only person that I think is a moto guy that probably better than that is probably Jordan. I know Jordan's like a 1 or 2 handicap, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right around scratch. So
yeah. If you're playing that good, man, you need to go try to get in touch with Ricky Fowler. You see, I know he's a moto guy, so.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't respond to my DM on Instagram.
You got to hit up Chiz. You know, him and Chiz are super tight. Chiz will take care of you.
That's what I need to do. I need to hit someone. I need to get some new clubs, or so I need to find something.
Well, you got to go get one of those wins, man. Go get a bonus check.
Yeah, that'll pay for it for sure.
Well, Casey, man, hey, thank you for having some time for us tonight, and we'll be watching you at Thunder Valley, and good luck up there at the elevation.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
You too.
It's Casey Cochran tonight, brought to you by Race Tech. Good times with Casey.
I think he is probably one of the most surprising kids coming out of the amateur that's done good as a pro to me because
surprising because you didn't expect him
I did
to?
not expect
really
him. So,
why?
Well, you weren't like I was there every weekend watching him race. He got I think his best at Loretta's was like a top 5 on mini bikes. And the class that he was racing, where like Filippani and different riders like that who aren't even, you know what I mean? Like he just didn't have like this stellar amateur career where you thought he was going to be as good as what he is. He is, and a lot of people may not realize this, he is excelling probably like more than most any of the amateurs coming up. And so to me, it's really interesting watching him because of that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that just unfortunately injuries. He's much like a Styles Robertson who just hasn't really had a chance to get a foothold yet and see if they can do anything.
He was so inconsistent as an amateur, so inconsistent.
Casey was,
okay, and he would come to a race and get like a 30th. You know what I mean? And you're like okay, and it wasn't out of the normal, but then he could come in the next weekend and be on the podium. It was really inconsistent and. The program he's on now or whatever's as he's gotten older or something is just really excelling. Most amateur kids don't excel when they turn pro. Like their top is their amateur stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And he is really excelling it.
Gotcha. So the X Brand form check-in, we're not going to officially do it. Well, you can click it on the button, but X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC, Supercross, Motocross, National Enduro, and Arena Cross riders, including Grant Baylor, Lyndon Snodgrass, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, and many more. Visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS. The X Brand form check-in was titled Lance Kobush equals highlight of the weekend. We have kind of already talked about Lance, but do you feel like for you was that the highlight? Yes. I mean, it was a highlight.
I know him
I think
and the team
for me,
so
like
personally.
Eli winning the moto was probably my highlight, but the Lance Kobush thing was pretty damn cool.
For us, it was because like literally know the team owner personally and know the whole crew there very, very well, and that was it.
Nice. I'll get to you in a second, Scotty, but we have our
Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I don't even care about you, really. Our next guest of the night's on. He's from Vital Mix. He's my boss for a few more weeks. Michael Lindsay is going to come on and talk about the Ducati Desmo 450 MX because he just got back from Italy last week. ML, what's up, dude?
I don't know how much longer I'll be your boss. I just found a bunch of cocaine in my car.
Hey, man, my hands are clean. I don't know where Mathis and Kiefer are today, but yeah, this was Mathis was the one. He also, though, threatened to do it to Brad from FXR. So
I get threatening me, but Brad is like the nicest guy.
Well, that's what I said. So last night, Steve was like, well, what about like a gear guy? Like maybe I could plant some coke on Brad from FXR and you could take his job. And I was like, dude, Brad's such a nice guy and he's about to have another baby. I just can't do it. And he goes, well, what about ML?
Also, in what world is no offense? I think I can answer this question for you. Would you really want to go to 32 races a year?
Yes,
he would. Yes, he would.
Really?
I mean, after a year, maybe I'd be like, screw this. But right now, today, I would say, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
we now know. Never mind.
Yeah,
I was just said. Okay.
Now, do I want to have to take 5 sets of gear to Phil Nicoletti and have him yell at me? Not really, but
see, I think that would be one of the positives. The negative is the building of the goggles.
Yeah, it's true. But they're easy now, dude. They just 2 snaps.
Yeah, sure. Goggles are easy. You should tell Brad that.
Tell Chase Sexton that.
Yeah, that's different.
I dare you to hit up every single goggle guy and tell him, "Hey, I heard your job's a 2-step process. Sounds
okay.
Easy.
It is easier than it was." Well, ML, man, yeah. So the embargo was lifted today on the Ducati Desmo. Your feature came out early this morning. TJ, I'm going to let you go first because I know you're the mechanical guy. Yeah. You probably have some questions that ML is going to love to answer.
So I know most people have probably watched the videos and everything about it. A couple things that I was curious about, and I didn't know if you got a chance to ask. I know that they're street bikes and they're Palagonis or however you say it, rev like close to 20. Like, what was their reasoning for keeping the 450 the rev so low?
Oh,
because if you look at the charts,
they gave a reason. Yeah, they gave a reason. I mean, it definitely has a higher rev limiter than any 450, and it carries better. But oh man, they listed a reason. I think it's just the fact that like a 450 single cylinder, like in that application, I think it had something to do with just inertia. They definitely spun one quicker than that. The main one they comment on is they said if they revved it much more. So I know the MXGP bikes are a little bit more.
Yeah.
They said they were going to have a really hard time passing sound.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Because that bike, they take the sound thing very serious. Like that bike out of the box will pass the new sound limit coming in the 109 max RPM test, because it has to for a bunch of Europe. So they said that was one holdup, and then they just said straight up a 450 when they spun it much like I said, I think they're spinning, because that one's about 11.8. I think they're spinning the GP bikes about 12.6.
Yeah.
They still said they didn't find much more than that. Now, what I can say is I definitely overheard them say that they have spun the 250 on the dyno close to 17.
Right, because you have so much less like inertia from the piston trying to slow it down and make it, go the other direction makes a huge difference.
I think the one they've ran in the dirt is, I think I heard was around 16 they've spun it, and then on a dyno I heard somebody say there that they may have spun it close to 17 recently.
Yeah, it'll definitely handle that. I was talking to somebody today about the conrod sizes and the bearings and the oils we have nowadays. It'll handle that. It's just, and the fact that you can't float valves is just I'm all about this.
The other thing is the 450, the bore and stroke on it is very in the middle of everybody. It's, I think, the same as the Honda. It's actually a little bit smaller bore, longer stroke than the Yamaha, but it's a little more in the KT. It's very in the middle, where like I wouldn't be shocked when the 250 comes out. I bet you the 250, like, the KTM is like, oh my goodness, the KTM 250 is like 5 millimeters larger bore than a Yamaha 250, way shorter stroke. I wouldn't be shocked if the Ducati 250 was like that, or even more extreme. Like I would think if they're going to build a rever, they're going to go more that direction. But the 450, they chose to go very down the middle of like what exists.
Yeah, they won't go square with the 250 for sure.
Yeah.
So, ML, give me a couple high points on this thing that really surprised you. I know the track you rode at was not a track that like was what you're used to riding, and you couldn't really, I don't think, put it through the paces as much as you guys had hoped. But what stood out that you think people are going to be impressed with this bike?
If you want, like, it's the most 350 feeling 450, and not in the sense of like, don't get me wrong, it's still a 450. It has more inertia, but it runs so free mid to top compared to any other 450. You can ride it, I would say, more aggressively than a normal 450. The biggest thing is just it lives better mid to high RPM. Doesn't feel like it binds up as much. You don't have to shift it much. Now, as in the negative for us, I would still say, like, right off the bat, I would add at least 2 teeth. Like, it is almost like way too spread out, but even add a tooth or two to it, like, you could go ride Glen Helen and just go between second and third gear. Like, you never, even as big as GH is or Fox, I don't think you could touch fourth gear.
Yeah.
So really easy to ride from that standpoint. I think I do think the traction control is pretty cool, just because it's truly like actually wheel speed based, and it just feels very different than anybody else's I've tried. I think those are positives. And I think, like I say, if you're looking at getting one, you're worried, like, how is it going to feel ergonomically? The best compliment I can give is it feels identical to the Honda. Like, the ergos or the rider triangle is awesome.
Do you think it's going to be good in like loamy, East Coast conditions and ruddy?
I think out of the box, it depends how you ride it. If you're going to ride in sand, I would say you'd have to keep it up on the R's a little bit. It is a soft torque feel down low, and it's so spread out. Like, if I were riding it in really soft conditions back east, I would either plan on like really letting it hang out, which again, you can kind of do it. It operates better at higher RPMs than most 450s. If you're a short shifter, a lugger, you're going to want to tighten up the gearing quite a bit, because I know their guy was trying to say, oh, you can roll on third. I tried a few corners, and it was like, again, it was almost being like in fourth gear on a 450 going into a tight corner, just like, just so luggy. So just the biggest thing is, like, everything on it feels pretty normal except for the power. The power is just different. Nothing else on it is too odd. Like, it feels way more like, any of the Japanese bikes than you would initially think.
Yeah. So, but what you're saying is something that like piques my interest, because I'm not skilled enough, in my opinion, for a 450. So I love the 350. So a bike like that would be maybe very favorable for a lot of vet riders. Like kind of sound like similar to the Kawasaki, right? That's not the most hard hitting 450 on the market.
Yeah, but at least like I would say the low end is pretty similar between the Cowie and the Ducati, but then it's so much better mid to top, and just seems to run really clean. Like I'm not terribly sensitive, but Chris is pretty sensitive to like vibration. Certain bikes like the Honda Triumph like vibrate, like feel a lot more like that high RPM. Like the Ducati just runs really clean up there.
Yeah, okay.
Cowie feels pretty flat, stock up top, pretty choked down.
Okay. Scotty?
Yeah, ML, now that you've rode the bike, there's been lots of talks on like who Ducati's going to sign for their first 450 guy. After you've rode it, who do you see that it would fit the best for based on their riding style?
I mean, Barsha naturally comes to mind.
Yeah.
Even I heard like Anderson at Cowie doesn't like a lot of power and very spread out. So I mean, either of them, and I think right now they would be the top two candidates. Everything else is kind of off the chessboard per se for them. The field's already thinned out quite a bit for options.
So there was a rumor, maybe you can confirm this or not, that Eli had a Ducati at one time, or at least rode one.
Yeah.
Probably
he
not
rode
for
it. Yes.
Not for him. Probably not his. Not his
I actually heard. No, I heard the feedback. I won't say it all because certain people you talk to, but no, he had some positives to say about it, some things he wanted to work on, but just they had a test. There was. I wouldn't say he. I don't know. You'd have to ask him, but based on the term, what I was told, like I think his decision process came down to timelines.
Okay, all right, interesting.
So also, I guess talking about with Eli and whatnot, it's got a hydraulic clutch. Is it like the KTM's hydraulic clutch, where you have some feel to it, or is it the on-off stuff like the Japanese seem to build?
See, I actually agree. I think the KTM is so fucking on-off. I have no feel on a KTM. Yeah, no, I think theirs is the most on-off. I think the Cowie's Nissan is the most cable-like.
Really? Yeah. For me, just for me personally, like I'm riding the 250.
Nobody cares about you, TJ.
But like I can really modulate. I can modulate the KTM's clutch the KTM's clutch quite well. Where I struggle with some of the other, like the Yamaha I've ridden, and with one on there, and the Cowie, and it doesn't seem to have the same, I guess, modulation. Like right there in that moment, the on off is so linear on the KTM.
Yeah, see, I'm like the window's narrow for me on the KTMs. I'm out. Right. I mean, they're just all going to be like, I would say it's pretty on off, but I'm not a big clutch guy either. And I was with the Luggy character, I was kind of fanning it. Like I wasn't really trying to roll it out. I would catch myself like being too low RPM, and I would just fan it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I played around more with going back to first gear a few times. It was difficult because like I wasn't even trying to like pop clutch much on that track because it was so hard packed and slick. Like in the morning track we rode, it's kind of like almost like a clay. It was super sticky for the first 20-30 minutes, insane. Then it's really like there's a little bit of rock, like a lot of small rocks underneath. The clay would almost roll up on the rocks and just turn into little marbles. And then that's almost worse because you would have like a sticky spot, then you get on the marbles and wash. And then that stuff kind of that first layer pushed off. And then we hit like what I would call like traditional, like what I see videos in Europe, like then it hit hard pack. I was like, okay, hard pack's easier to read. The marbly rolling stuff was much, yeah.
All right, let's
not my cup of tea, not something I'm used to.
Last question then with this thing. It's a higher price point. Do you think the market will do well for Ducati, or does it really even matter because it is sort of a niche bike?
I think they're definitely like, I was surprised the numbers are like, they definitely don't, produce the numbers of any other OEM, but like they're not talking about like this model that's coming out right here. Like, okay, what's homologation US 400? They aren't just bare minimum meeting that. They're going to go pretty far past that number. And I mean, I know a dealership in California, it's already pre-sold like 30 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's only a couple $100 more in the KTM. At least the initial listed price. We'll see where finally, because things are still in flux. I asked one of the guys on the trip, I said, hey, what's happening with the tariff situation? And they said, We don't, we'll know when we finally ship them and they get there, wherever we land at the time. But they were like, we're planning on absorbing a good amount of the hit on it. We want to try to keep it as close to the price we said we were going to.
Okay. Nice.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure you can.
So we have two. I was asking your opinion because you deal with these bikes more. You have two manufacturers coming in, well, technically three, but we'll talk about the Triumph and the Ducati. With one of them's doing 450, one's doing 250, or Beta with 450. What do you think was a better choice? Like, would Triumph had been better to push a 450 easier on them, all that kind of stuff? What's your thoughts?
I agree with one thing I thought was interesting with Triumph's pitch was, hey, the 250 was closer to what they'd built before. That's what they wanted to enter with. They wanted to race with that. I don't know if it's turned out I think one tough one is 250 is purely a horsepower class. The bike's pretty good. I don't know. Their original pitch was, hey, the 450, I think they knew that was going to take more to get right. The 250, you get a proof of concept. The 450 is going to be harder to set up. I agree with one of their sentiment, more like a walk before you run. But I also think Ducati, hats off to the way Ducati's doing it, because they're just coming in balls to the walls in a sense. Like, we're going to build a great bike. We're going to build a 450. We're going to build a premier class machine. We're going to go with premier class guys. I don't know. It's a little bit apples to oranges, though, because even though each brand is new to us, I think Ducati just has this enamor to it. Like, initially, my gut feeling, I don't really have a way to measure this. I just think the Ducati will be more successful.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think a lot of that is just, they're selling. I'm really impressed they came out with a bike that was close to the price point, because my real gut feeling was, they're going to come in with their first bike with, coated suspension and acro on it, some new electronics. Like, they're going to go for a works edition right off the bat. We're probably going to end up with a $16,000 450.
Yeah.
I was really surprised they even built a production one. Now, I did jokingly say to somebody, I said, how long until the special one? And they were like, oh, it's going to be here. I'm like, how long until the fancy one? And they were like, yeah, it's coming a lot sooner than you think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think I can almost guarantee, nobody told me, I'm just going off of gut, kind of just reading between the lines. I bet you we get the Trick 450 before we get the 250, and we're going to get the 250 by this time next year. So
sweet,
cool.
I wouldn't be shocked we get these 450s in July. I have a feeling I wouldn't be surprised, depending on who they signed, maybe come A1 January we get the Trick one.
Okay,
maybe.
Well,
maybe.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see one at the track, and I saw one at TLD at A2 or whatever, but I want to see one on the track. So, well, Mel, thanks for jumping on here. And I had a lot of people emailing me and sending me DMs wanting to know what I knew, and I don't know shit. So let me get ML on and find out. So thanks for jumping on here. And if you guys are watching or listening, hit up vitalmx.com. Go to the YouTube channel. There is a 24-minute or so video where he breaks the bike down, and there's a written portion also on VitalMX. So yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to you. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Later.
Okay. See ya. That's Michael Lizzie from VitalMX. Appreciate him jumping on. We have, 5 minutes or so before we get to Parker Ross. So let's do a little bit of the Evans Coolant emails. You ready for this, TJ?
I am.
This is your time to shine.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Evans waterless coolant
God.
protects your engine because it always stays
liquid cooled.
Hey, this is mine.
Liquid.
Okay, my bad.
Liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always
liquid cooled.
Liquid cooled.
No, see, we were both wrong.
There it is.
Scotty, used by
pros everywhere.
Honda HRC, Factory Beta,
That's what I said.
Ampro Factory Yamaha, and many other teams.
You really expected me to get all of those?
Yes.
I just thought you might only get one.
I did. I technically blanketed
pros.
it. I technically blanketed it.
Pros everywhere. That's what he said.
Well, you are some.
I'm not wrong.
My voice is breaking, but at the end it does say, and many other teams, regardless of sponsorship, meaning even if you're sponsored by another brand, you're probably using Evans. Evans is in the bikes on the podium.
I know some other companies. There's some other brands of stuff that's happened before.
Let me pull up a few of these emails. Our guy from TBolt USA, Vince, has sent me 3 emails this week.
Okay, well,
and they're all pretty damn good.
Well, that's easy to
all right,
understand.
so last week we did top 5 albums that don't really fit your, people would be surprised by from you.
That was terrible.
And Vince sent, first off, I grew up listening to Zeppelin, Hendrix, and Black Sabbath. I'm not really into whole albums, but I listed the artist, albums, and a favorite song of mine. Prince, 1999, Little Red Corvette. That's actually a really great song and album. Eminem's 8 Mile, Lose Yourself. Can't really go wrong with that. Garbage, they're self-titled, I'm Only Happy When It Rains. Cake, Fashion Nugget. That is one I've never heard of. I guess that's the name of the group.
You never heard of Cake? You would, yeah.
It's the band Cake. Yeah. Album is Fashion Nugget. Yeah. I'm with you now.
Yeah,
I read that as
I like Cake.
Didn't they do Caged Elephant, or was that a different band?
That's a different
Caged Elephant's a different band.
The Distance was his song, and then he said Counting Crows, Recovering the Satellites, A Long December. Pretty good song.
No offense to Vince, and I really couldn't tell you why, but I like Counting Crows is probably my least favorite band of all time.
I tried listening to them because Mr. Jones is a cool song. Past that,
when Angels talks to Angels and stuff comes on, I literally just want to rip my ears out.
Well, hang on.
She talks to Angels. Yeah, that's them.
That's the Black Crows.
Yes.
Counting Crows is Mr. Jones.
Different.
Yes. Yes, Counting Crows and Black Crows are different.
Sorry, Vince, you're good. You're good. I'm thinking of the Black Crows.
Oh.
I absolutely cannot stand the Black Crows.
I do like that song. And I like their version of Hard to Handle, and they have another song that I really love.
No, all of it's garbage.
But they're not as great of a band as a lot of people think they are.
And they're treated as they're like royalties of rock. And I'm like, dude, no, they have that one song, and I literally want to rip my ears off when it comes.
There's a bluesy song they have that I love.
The only thing that they did that I kind of tolerated is they did a concert with Jimmy Page once.
Yep, I heard that.
That was okay.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next email.
Okay.
From Vince Pale, TBolt USA.
In the house.
Oh, this is for our top 5 nights. So I'm going to save that one.
Okay.
I thought there was another one. Let's do this one then. This is from Dan. Hi, MotoXpod show crew. Congrats for producing such a great show. Except for TJ, he sucks. Since you've been asking, I thought I would write in with a couple of show topic ideas. Now, I don't know for sure we'll get to these topic ideas tonight. We may have to save these because we do got to get Parker on. But I like getting the email, so we'll read them. And we'll discuss if we'll discuss this later. How about that? Sound good? Cool. The first one is a bit of a rant. I'll start by saying that I know a lot of riders didn't complete their senior years of high school, but I've noticed in the last couple of years, riders and commentators starting to use words that don't make sense, TJ. Take comfortability as an example. I've heard so many riders, and now some of the media, talk about trying to find comfortability on the bike. Comfortability on the bike. The words they should be using are either comfort or comfortable. Another one that made me sigh is when I hear RC use the phrase, that was a great audible during a supercross race. He was referencing to another rider's pass. I had to look it up. Oh, did I screw this up? Where's the rest of the freaking...
Well, it's a terrible what Ricky was saying.
I had to look it up, and it was in reference to football. Somehow I didn't get the whole email. Bro, yeah, listen, have you listened to a human being talk in general? Like when I transcribe these interviews and these press conferences, like when we're listening to, say, the press conference and we hear Chase Sexton or Cooper Webb or whatever, we just sort of listen and we accept what they're saying. But when you really listen to what they're saying, like, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's even like their sentences don't.
Oh, yeah.
Like they'll start a sentence and then they'll go to a different topic. And like when I try to transcribe that, I'm like, how do I do this? You started to say something, you went somewhere completely different. You used a word that doesn't exist. You never finished your comment. You decided to say something else. And then also you have, I was going to the track and it was kind of cold and the bike didn't want to start and dude. So Dan, I'm with you. I am not disagreeing with you, but I think it's humans, at least Americans in general, we suck.
Dude, like I know we don't have much time, but that's like a whole rant for me too. Like you go back and watch like stuff from like the 40s and 50s, even like that's not even relative of time. That's not even that long ago. The level of diction and stuff that they had is so much more proper and sophisticated than it is now. Like, dude, it is very alarming how stupid we've got. Like I sound stupid compared to a lot of the stuff in the 40s and 50s, and I feel like I have a lot more proper diction than the majority of people I talk to.
I'm going to distree with you just because when you look at stuff from the 40s and 50s, it was like
I was just using it as an example.
It was too proper.
It was no. I mean, there was no just off the cuff videos. It was all actors or people who were being proper. But if you just,
I hear what you're saying, but
they used bigger words back then, TJ. I promise you.
Like that, it's a little more lax, but at the same time, I agree with him that some things are just we accept certain things. Dude, like, look, I don't want to bash. I don't want to bash the broadcast too much because it's whatever, but there are things that get repeated over and over and over, words that are wrong that drive me insane, and I'm also tired of hearing James say he lost the toe. Like, you said that 27 times during this race.
Have you heard the?
I feel like that's like a new terminology that he just discovered, and he just wants to stop. He lost. He didn't lose his toe. First of all, it's TOW. I know, but no, I don't know. And it's not just James; it's everybody.
Have you heard the on there yet?
No. Is that what
I always bring that up, and you never seem to catch it.
Tell me it again.
He'll be like, "Yeah, he's doing good on there." Like he says, he uses on there weird. It's I don't necessarily know how to describe it, but it's interesting.
No, I guess I haven't heard that. But if I'm being completely honest, during the broadcast, I don't listen to everything.
You're like TJ.
Say.
You hate motocross.
No, I like watching the racing. I like trying to hear the bikes. But as far as the commentators, I blocked them out a little bit. But look, our next guest is on the line, so we can get back to this. So our next guest is brought to you by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talari and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. GutsRacing.com to order today. Guts Racing brings us tonight from the BarX Yamaha team, Mr. Parker Ross. What's up, Parker?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're doing good, man. I'm glad to talk to you. I think the last time we spoke was actually in Arlington. I stepped into the rig to tell you how good you've been riding, and I asked you at the time, like, what's your situation? And you were kind of telling me, if I remember right, it was like situational, right? Results based. Like you didn't know how many more rides you had. Was that correct?
Yeah. So with SLR, it was just kind of, we're going to do the first 4 rounds, and if I got a top 10, then we'd do the rest of them. And yeah, we ended up doing the rest of them and did pretty good. Yeah,
you were riding, if I'm being honest, I was surprised. Like, I knew your talent. I've seen you ride at like Loretta's and different places, but you never really know what somebody's going to do once they're thrown into the pro ranks. And like, I was very impressed with your riding and your battling. And were you surprised at all with your results?
Honestly, kind of a little bit. Like I think it came a little bit easier than I thought it would. Just being in the pro ranks and with all those guys, it like came a little bit more natural than I thought it would, to be honest.
How much Supercross testing or riding had you done leading up to this season? I mean, where were you training?
Yeah, I actually rode a lot. Probably like 3 to 4 times a week. And luckily enough, I was able to go out to the Honda test track, which I was super fortunate for that. And then just some local spots in SoCal like Fox Raceway. And I don't know if Elsinore was open at that time, but I think maybe Elsinore a little bit before they closed down. So, yeah, I had like a couple of tracks we were able to go to.
Good. Yeah. So did anything surprise you once you got there? I mean, we were just talking to Casey Cochran, and he's been pro 2 years now. And we were discussing coming off the amateur ranks, one, the schedule of racing every single weekend versus amateurs where, you have time in between. And 2, the level of competition goes from 3 or 4 really fast guys to 20 to 30 fast guys. So for you, what was the biggest adjustment or surprise?
I think the biggest surprise was just you're battling your heart out for 15th or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like you feel like you get a good start and you're like battling. Like this weekend I was battling Austin Faulkner for 16th, and I was like, dude, we are battling so hard right now. Like, passed each other a couple times, and it's just like, it's kind of insane. Like, normally you're like, at least for me, I wasn't really battling until maybe got closer to the top 5 in amateurs. And now it's like any position you're battling for your life. And it's pretty insane how good like the whole field is. And I don't think people really understand, unless you're like one of the top guys, like you're not really moving through the pack like you would in amateurs. Like you kind of, if you get like a 20th place start, maybe you're getting to 10th, you know, maybe. But yeah, just everybody that you're riding with is so good.
Yeah, that's a big adjustment. I think that's one of the things we hear probably most from the rookies the first couple of years is, yeah, it's especially when you're a dominant rookie. You know, you're a kid, like I talked to Drew Adams about this year. I've asked him twice, like, are you prepared to get your ass kicked when you're used to doing the ass kicking? And you kind of have to mentally tell yourself, you have to know this is not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scotty?
Yeah. Parker, when you are battling with those 10 to 15th range, and do you feel that you're able to fully get into your pace? Do you feel like your pace is better than where you can be, or you could be better than what you are? How does your pace feel when you're in those battle situations?
It's interesting. I've actually been talking with my trainer, Tom Danielson, about this. It's like the guys everybody's going fast. So when you're out there and you're behind someone, you almost kind of get stuck in like a little bit of their pace. And I feel like my pace is closer to like top 10. But if you're starting 20th if you're starting in 20th, you're kind of get almost stuck in the pace of like, okay, like you feel like you're going all out, but you probably have a little bit more, but you're kind of with those 20th to 15th place guys, where you almost get kind of stuck in that speed, where when I start close to the top 10, it's like I have like a whole nother second or 2 seconds on the track, which is like just being able to ride with those guys that you kind of like, for me at least, I kind of like adapt to like the speed that I'm around almost a little bit. So like when I start farther back, it's hard for me to like get through the guys that I'm a little bit faster with, because I feel like they're going super fast. So I'm like, okay, let me just latch on to this guy, when really I need to be like trying to latch on to a little bit faster guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you said you were working on that with your trainer, what are y'all doing during the week to kind of adjust for that?
Honestly, it's more like a mindset thing, just like believing that I am a 10th place guy and believing that I should be up there with those fast guys and the factory guys. And he said, like, when I'm around the guys that I know I shouldn't be around with, like mentally, I should be like, okay, I should be going faster than these people. It's not necessarily like I'm training any different. It's more of just mentally, I need to like be like, hey, I'm faster than these people and I need to be going faster, kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go. Oh, did you guys want to?
Oh no, I just agree.
I didn't go look at your like start average, but I would think that might be a thing to work on too. Then, right? Yeah. So if you could start up in the top 7 to 12, that would make a big difference to run with those guys.
Yeah, for sure. And the adjusting to, because my starts were super good on the Honda, and then going to the Yamaha, I feel like I'm like relearning starts again. So it's been a little bit frustrating, because I had my starts like dialed on the Honda, and I feel like I was consistently able to start in the top 10. And now on the Yamaha, I'm like just relearning it. So it's been a little bit tricky, but I feel like we maybe figured some things out at Hangtown a little bit.
Oh, good. And I'm going to get to the Yamaha and Bar X in just a minute and how the opportunity came about. But I want to go back. I was going through a bunch of our Supercross photos of you, because we have on YouTube right now photos playing in the background while you're talking. And there was one that I think it was Octopi that caught it. It might have been Michael Lindsay. I bet it was Michael Lindsay, actually. But you looked like you almost went over the bars in Arlington. Do you remember that situation? I'd like to get a run through of that.
Oh yeah. So I actually got a terrible start, and it was in the first main. It was a triple crown. Yep. And I got a terrible start, and I was coming to the pack, and I was actually riding really good, and I was riding really aggressive, and I think I was in maybe like 11th in that time, and there was like this weird little wheel tap thing, and you went across the start before the whoops.
Yep.
And I came out of the turn and kind of messed it up, and still went for the wheel tap, and I was going too slow and just just clipped it and endoed, and then that kind of like ended my push to the front of the pack because it just like spiked my heart rate to like 205 and just got arm pump instantly after that. Yeah, and then it was just survival after that.
Yeah, when I saw those photos yesterday when I was pulling everything, I was like, oh, those are going up. It's pretty gnarly. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Bar X, how did that opportunity come about? Like you mentioned, SLR was helping you out. They were your amateur support. I believe they're also your girlfriend's support, and yeah, but that they weren't able to stick with you. So how'd the Bar X Yamaha thing come about?
Yeah, so I think it was, I can't remember exactly when they texted me, but literally just the owner texted me. It was like, just sent me a blank text and was like, hey, you want to ride for us? And I was like, well, I want to say yes, but I kind of need more details than that so I could, I don't know, talk to my people. I can't just say yes. So we just kind of, I wouldn't say negotiated, but we just talked about it a little bit, and it just kind of made more sense because SLR wasn't able to do all the outdoors, and I just kind of felt like how my Supercross season was. I wanted to have like a good outdoors too, and I thought I could. So, if I could have stayed with SLR and they were able to match it, I would have, but they just weren't able to match what Bar X put out there, and it's been good. Yeah, I've been loving the bike, and super appreciative of the opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I dig it. That's good.
So you have a team manager that is kind of known for being, always there for his riders and stuff like that. Now, how is it working with Brooks right now?
We have Bradley Taft is our team manager.
Oh, I thought Brooks.
Bar X.
Oh, okay, wrong team. Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Not HEP.
Not HEP. I'm sorry.
Way to go, TJ.
Well, good job for me. I had the wrong way.
No, you're good.
How's working with Bradley Taft?
Bradley, though. Bradley's a good dude.
It's been good. It's been he's actually a really good rider, and he's been helping all of us. Like he gears up and helps on our bikes, and he's been helping them with starts. And like the last couple of weeks, he's been riding our bikes, and he's been like, dude, like he was like, you and Derek Drake have like the best setup bike. Like everybody else needs like their bikes are like terrible, is what he says. So yeah, it's been good. It's been it's cool. Like just having somebody that kind of has done it and pretty recently too. So yeah, it's been nice, and he helps on our bikes and tells us what we're doing wrong and all that. So it's been cool. Yeah.
Parker, I'm going to get you to hang on for one moment. I have a specific drop that's just for my guy TJ here. So we're just, if you just listen, give me a second here.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot.
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
There you go, TJ.
I always put Bar X with
Suzuki?
Brooks because it's Suzuki and the single ring pistons and the bikes that smoked all the way at the end of every moto.
Well, thanks for being an idiot. All right.
Hey, before we move on, I wanted to jump back to, we were talking about starts earlier, and Parker, you're on a Honda now. You just need to go hit up Lars and try to get a hold of he's on a Honda.
Yes.
You need to go to Lars.
He was on a Honda.
Jeez.
Hang on.
Dude, all the pictures of him are on a Honda.
Because I don't have. He's only done the Yamaha 2 races.
Changed my life.
My bad.
So there's not that many photos of.
So there you go, TJ.
We have two idiots.
I relieved you
in studio, Parker, but that's okay. That we were just talking about Bar X Yamaha.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey, this is not the Pulp MX show, Parker. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, but yeah. So, what do you like about the Yamaha? You've talked about adjusting. That 250 is nasty, man. I got to ride a stock version a couple weeks back, and but so is the Honda at the same time, right? The Honda's a hell of a 250s. But what do you specifically like about the Yamaha?
Just the overall balance of the bike feels like a lot better and a little bit more comfortable. I feel like the Honda, and I think you've heard this a lot too, like the Honda is very like front end heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Yamaha, just how the motor is tilted a little bit backwards and the tank sits under the seat, like it just makes the bike feel like really planted in the middle. Like it's like right when I got on it, it was really comfortable to ride. And I think that's what's made it so easy on these outdoors, and the motor package that we have with Twisted Development is insane. Like I couldn't ask for more power, and it's been like exciting to ride. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, man, I just want to ride that bike more. Like it just makes me want to ride more, and just how comfortable it is, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, nobody really that's listening probably cares how I feel about riding. You know, I can't compare myself to you, but that I got to spend 2 days at club and rode the stock 250, And I had never really rode a 250F. I shouldn't say that. I did ride a modded one that Kiefer has out in the desert in one of him and Aiden's tracks. But other than that, I'd never really spent any time on track on a 250, and I absolutely fell in love with it that day. I bet I put 20 hours on it in 2 days, man. I just rode all freaking day, and I couldn't believe how much fun I had on that YZ 250F.
Yeah, it's an awesome bike, and it's fun to rev the bike. Like on the Honda, if you rev it, like it just dies off. So it's like a very like low, like torquey, which is kind of towards my riding style. That's how I ride. And then I got on the Yamaha for the first day, and we were riding like a turn track. And Bradley comes up to me and is like, "Dude, why are you riding the bike like that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, you haven't even like touched the rev limiter once. Like you're riding it like a retard." And I was like, "Well, this is just how I ride." And he's like, "No, rev the bike." And then I went out there and just lit the thing up, and I was like, "Holy, this bike's fast." So
yeah,
it's been a little bit of a learning curve. Like I feel like the gears are so much longer just because the bike does have bottom end, but then you can also rev it out, and your like second and third gear feel so long. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, that's
very cool.
That Yamaha 250 is like a 350 almost, the way it revs and
a little
builds
bit
on pop. So my question was, did you spend time on the stock motor before, or did you go straight to the race bike?
I just went straight to the race bike, yeah.
Gotcha.
Did you have one, Scotty?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I was looking back through your Instagram, just trying to see what I could see, and you guys did really well at Glen Helen before the outdoor started at the was it the Moto Fest or whatever? You won a little bit of money. Are those like little preseason races? Are those really beneficial just for kind of getting some gate drops and some intensity up?
Yeah, I think it was really good, and obviously made some money, so it was nice. Not better than sitting at home and not doing anything. So. Yeah, it was fun, and you don't really get at least for me, like Bradley always tells me, he's like, "Dude, you are a terrible practice rider." Like, I don't know what it is, but I am like so slow on I'm like so slow on the practice days, and I get to the race, and he's like, "Dude, you're like a completely different rider at the races." So the more time I could race, and the more time I'm at my race speed for some reason, I don't know what it is. Like at the practice tracks, I feel like I'm going fast, and then I go to the races, and he's like, "Dude, you're like 5 seconds faster at the races." He doesn't understand. I don't understand. It just is what it is. So
it's better than the opposite.
It's better than being a good practicer and a bad racer.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, those races are good. It's kind of like it was good to kind of shake down the bike and get maybe some of the race nerves out. Like the first moto, I actually whole shotted both, which is nice. And the first moto, I had the gnarliest arm pump because I haven't raced outdoors in a while and haven't been out front in a while. So I had the gnarliest arm pump, and yeah, just kind of got some of those race nerves, I think, out of the way.
Right on. Scotty?
Hey, I know this is a little outdated, but dude, you have your own Hot Wheels?
What?
He has on his Instagram. He has his own Hot Wheels.
I think it's a guy just like designed them and did like a little cartoon thing of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. That's still cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah.
The toys that like Supercross came out with a couple years ago were kind of lame. Hot Wheels would be rad.
The ones that the MX champs or whatever they were when I was a kid.
Yeah, those were cool.
Detailed.
Like
the
Pastrana one back here behind me.
Those were legit. I still have some too. Like those were legit. The ones they came out with were not.
Yeah, they're kind of lame. Just a couple more things for you, Parker. Parker's brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Let's see here. I'm going through my list. I don't have time to get to everything. Let me ask you this. Can I ask Casey this? We talked about this at the beginning of the race. They're cutting the races down by 5 minutes. Were you for that, against it, in between? What do you think? I think it's a positive.
I don't know. For me, they say it's for a safety thing, but I mean, we're racing dirt bikes. Like it's already unsafe. You know what I mean? Like we're already hitting 150-foot jumps. Why are you already trying to make it safe now?
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm going to give you my point of view then, and I'll see if I change your opinion or you disagree. So, it's rider safety, yes, but more in the stance of, okay, if you go those extra 5 minutes, you're pushing your body to this intense level, and if 4 or 5 people say they get heat stroke or overheated because of how hot and how hard you're pushing, then maybe we lose some of the field. And then over the last 10 years, we've learned a lot about concussions, about heat, how it affects the body. So yeah, we had a 25-minute race that was really intense. It was really good. and nobody stroked out. So I think at the end of the day, for me, it's like, yeah, if we can protect our riders a little bit, then why not do it?
Yeah, I see that. But also for me, it's like, I don't know. That's what I train. Like I train for the 30 minutes. Like I train for the heat, and all that stuff. And I feel like I was one of the guys at the end of the motos that was strong. And I don't know. I've always ridden in the heat, and I grew up in NorCal, and I grew up in that hot weather. So I don't know. I wish it was at the end of the moto. I was like, man, if it was 5 more minutes, I could have been like 8th or something, know. But
okay.
So I don't know. For me, the heat. I was going to the race and I was like, hopefully it's freaking 112. Like I wanted to be hot just to weed out some of the sissies, just kind of make it a little bit easier for me.
No, I dig that. That's a good counterpoint to what I said. So I like it.
I was going to ask him if he thought that he lost positions because of it.
That's a good I mean, like you guys said earlier, like Eli Tomac maybe would have got a couple more spots if he had been there 5 minutes. So yeah, fair point. Parker, okay, I got 2 more for you. How do you make the improvements? What are the steps to make the improvements to the next level that you're trying to get to? Is it just time?
Yeah, I think just time and training my butt off. I've been working super hard, and I think just the consistency of working hard is going to get me to that next level. And also just being in the races and racing every weekend. Like, I think that's something that I kind of lacked on amateurs. I was just kind of riding by myself during the week. So being able to race with these guys and being around fast guys all the time is just going to make me better. And like Bradley says, is the more you start up front, the more likely you're going to stay up front. And so just being around those guys is just going to make me so much better. And yeah, I think just putting in the work and being around fast guys is going to make me faster.
I like it, man. You're a good kid. I really enjoyed visiting with you at Loretta's. I want to close this thing out with, I mentioned your girlfriend, Michaela Nielsen. She won Fox, if I'm not mistaken, second at Hangtown in WMX, one of the fastest women riders in the country. It's pretty cool to see that series getting some backing and some strength, and I think those girls deserve a lot of coverage, honestly, and a lot of respect for what they do. So I just want to give you a shout out to how well she's doing.
Yeah, she's been doing awesome, and I think she's been working super hard, and it's I've been able to watch both the Paula or Fox Raceway and Hangtown races, and they're honestly like good races. Like they're not like, oh man, I'm ready for these to be over. Like I think they're good races, and I think it's going in the right directions, and hopefully it'll get bigger as the years go on, and maybe even be something like I don't know, like when Ashley Filick raced and they had some HRC and some factory girls in there. I think that would be cool.
I do too. I agree. I think that was a good time for the sport. It's a good thing for the sport, and if they could find the money, the support, and the time, I'd love to see them back on Saturdays. I mean, it'd be tough, but you guys, it wouldn't hurt for you guys to have another 15, 20 minutes in between motos. So it'd be hard for TV time, but it would still be really cool. But Parker, it's a pleasure talking to you. Really excited for you to get the opportunity at Bar X, and look forward to seeing you at Lakewood this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the call.
You got it, man. Have a good night, good week, and good luck this weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.
See you, buddy. That's Parker Ross, brought to you by Guts Racing tonight. One of the up-and-coming amateur kids. Really stoked to have him on.
He has a pretty cool attitude.
Yes, I agree. What do we got on time? So we also have ETS Turd to take tonight. I almost forgot about that. So we got to call Turd in about 10 minutes.
I haven't got to that point in Pulp last night, but did he take your segment? He said something about he had a Turd's take.
I don't remember hearing that. I didn't listen to the whole show either.
Yeah, it was at the beginning. He said he had one. I think it was just a jab at you more than anything, but I don't know. At one point in the beginning of that show, he said something about a Turd's take because they were talking about Hudson not making it at Loretta's.
Dude, and then he was going to have the whole beginning, and I don't remember anything about Hudson or anything.
He said something.
Okay, yeah, I missed all that, so I don't know.
I didn't know if you knew.
No idea. Let's do. I know. What were we talking about before he came on? And I said we'd get back to you, Scotty, on your.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Was it the emails? It was
something about the emails.
Something that they were bad mouthing Scotty or something.
You should honestly not trying to derail everything, but you should honestly not say that we're going to come back to stuff because we rarely do.
Well,
Yep.
maybe
we don't
you
even
should,
remember-
maybe
remember-
you should remind me.
Yeah, no, I've got other
as-
things going on.
Oh, all right, cool, great.
Yeah.
Well, so if I say we're going to come back to something and we don't,
Yeah,
Blame
whatever.
Scotty.
I'd say
just accept it.
I'd say 1 out of 10 times we do.
Okay.
Just
So
blame Scotty.
so we should just be like, well, we'll just move on.
There's still more to that email from Dan that I need to get to, but I don't have it all, so I may save it for next week.
Sweet.
Here's one from Seth. So we are going back to the emails. There you go.
Okay.
Jamie, I'm so sorry to hear of you being downsized, right-sized, or whatever they call it. I've been there several times, and it sucks.
Dark-sized.
That's pretty good. You're very talented and respected in the industry. You have evolved over the years and have proven yourself. In my opinion, you have been living the dream, the proverbial dream life. Man, I guess I should not guess what he's going to say and actually read it. If you've never done anything else in moto, you'll have achieved more than 99% of any fan. Through hard work and tenacity, you built a brand, Dark Side Pony, and followers. Use what you learn and build your advantage. Ton of respect goes out to you for wanting to stay in Texas with your family. So, Seth, thank you for those kind words. I've received a lot of messages this week or in the last 24 hours for that stuff, and it all means a lot. So,
Our 88 people that we have in live on chat are live in the chat now are planning on moving with us whenever we go. So,
all right.
yeah.
Well, bring your friends because we need more than 88. I mean, I think honestly,
Nothing's good enough for him.
No. Listen, like honestly,
he's right though.
to make money on YouTube, right? You got to have 1,000 subscribers.
You have to have
and-
1,000 subscribers, and I want to say it's 10,000 watch hours.
Yeah, so we're gonna need everybody.
So longer shows.
I don't know if the live stuff counts towards watch hours or not.
Oh, really?
I'll have to look.
Yeah, I have to look at
Yeah,
that.
but if they go back and watch it in post on
Yeah.
YouTube, and it's a longer show,
let
then
me
we get
text-
more watch hours.
Let me text Hudson real quick and tell him we're calling in 5. Then we'll do this last email. So if you guys have anything
I
whatsoever
cannot
to
believe
talk
how
about,
bad you and I were during that interview.
I can't.
Dude, I'm sitting here looking at pictures of him on a Honda.
Yeah, I
My
understand.
bad.
I kind of understand yours,
Yep.
but also
That's fair.
you were in the chat, and the chat was talking about it the whole time. So and then,
But not. I didn't realize that. I thought Bar X was still Suzuki. So.
yeah, but, so I knew Bar X had swapped
Jeez.
over to. I knew it was Bar X.
I knew that. I knew that.
This is why I lost my job at Vinyl right here.
This is. Oh, blame it on us. All right.
I am.
I knew they were Yamaha, but I just in my head Bar X it was Brooks
Larry
for so
Brooks.
long that it was still in my head.
Yeah, it's the same thing that we were talking about earlier. Like sometimes I still use lights or still use Bercy. And
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like you get used to something being one way, and then,
It's not that big of a deal. It's all fun.
but it's our fault. You lost
I mean,
your job.
it's a big deal that I lost my job, but I mean, I've come to terms with it. And, you know, you just have to, as long as you can sleep at night.
Hey, so
I sleep like a baby.
in the chat, Sporting Wood said that they will forgive Scotty, but not me.
Yeah, that chat's
All right.
got my back.
All right. So here's the third Vince Pale email.
All right, Vince.
What do you think about top riders advancing from 250 to 450 class? What's the best time? For instance, I hear people saying Hayden Deegan should move up right away, and also some people think Jeffrey Hurling should have moved up way sooner. So what are your thoughts?
Age limit.
Deegan is literally following what Jet did.
Either
He's going to win 2
Hey,
Supercross
that's not
titles.
your thought, though. Well, like, how do you feel like there's a certain time they should move up? Because to me, it's the perfect time for each rider is individual. Now they may get forced to move up, like a Tom Vial.
Yeah.
But is that the right time? Well, to me, it's individual. It depends on the rider.
I'm okay with them taking a reasonable amount of time to get a 250 championship.
What's a reasonable amount of time?
I would say, a year ago, I would say that RJ was kind of at the end of it. Like it was kind of now or never, and he did it.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you can also say that looking at how, it's a very recency bias and a very short window of what we're looking at. But as good as he's been on the 450 so far, maybe he should have gone up a couple years ago. So maybe around I would say I would like to see Shimoda move up in the next year or maybe 2.
I like the idea of the accumulative points. Once you get this many points, within
or just do the age thing,
a 2-year deal or something like that, then you're out. But
Do
I
you
guess
feel like there should be
or an age limit or something.
Yeah.
You have to be in the 250 class at least 3 years, at least 5 years, no matter what, to mature or
you have to be able to go to the 450. You have to make main event on a 250.
Because okay,
I would say no because of someone like Benny Bloss, where he was Benny Bloss was so tall on a 250 that it didn't really work, so he just went straight to 450. I would say no on your idea because of those kinds of reasons.
But he had to ride 250. He had to make a main event to be able to go to 450 in Supercross.
Okay, well he did one and then he moved up.
Right.
So, I don't think his career would be what it is now if he had waited 2-3 years in the 250 class.
I don't know about forcing somebody to move up before they're ready. That part kind of sucks, right? Is Tom Vial ready to move to the 450s? I'm sure he's talented enough to ride one, but not everybody. Some guys get forced to move up before they're ready.
Yeah. Every time we have this conversation, I always go back to the thing that we've brought up before, that I want to see one coast be the years 1 and 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
And then the other coast be
you stealing somebody else's idea.
No, I mean I didn't never say that it was my idea.
I know.
I literally said that the idea that's been talked about before would be that. That's what I think. It always comes down to that. I think that's what we should do.
All right. Our next guest is on the line, and he's going to be brought to you by ETS Racing Fuels. This is going to be ETS Racing Fuels Turd's Take. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find your local distributor. ETS Racing Fuels tonight brings us our buddy Hudson Short for Turd's Take. What's up, Turd?
What's up? How are y'all guys?
We're doing good. How you feeling, man? You didn't you go to your regional this weekend?
Oh. Yeah, I went to my regional. I attempted my regional. We didn't finish. We DNF.
Sounds like you're going to another regional.
Yeah, we're going to Millville, leaving tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Millville's rad.
Did you get banged up at all? Or was it just bike stuff?
Excuse me?
Did you get banged up at all, or was it just bike stuff? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I got messed up. I tried to ride today, but I'm really nauseous when I was riding, and when I came off the track, I felt like I was about to throw up.
Wow,
so
that's not good.
I think I have a little bit of a concussion. Maybe a minor one.
It's kind of hard to tell with you, though, Hudson. I mean, you're kind of goofy anyway.
Yeah, I'm already a little off my rocker.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you, did you crash because you were trying to take somebody's front wheel out?
No, I crashed over a big jump. I weeded it up. I high-sided.
Damn, man. I'm sorry, dude.
I was in a good qualifying position. Basically with a fifth because 2 kids in front of me DNF the first moto.
Okay.
So going in, I would have had to get top 10 in the last moto, which was pretty doable. But I weeded it up in the last turn.
Dude, come on, man.
Last turn of the last lap?
Yep.
Oh,
Hudson.
What place were you in?
Enough to qualify.
Well, he was qualifying.
It was in 7th, but it was really 5th because 2 people in front of me DNF'd the first moto.
Yeah.
Oh.
But all right, so. I know this is not original at all.
Okay.
But everyone has been talking about the heat with Hangtown.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it all night.
Yeah, I'm sure. This is super original. So I was thinking they shortened it to 25 plus 2 motos, and normally it's 30 plus 2, obviously. So that's 2 laps they're taking out.
Yep.
And I don't know. I saw this video. Or I saw the post from Jeff Ward, and it says he used to train for those motos with 50-minute motos in the hills because it would be 100 degrees and they'd still have to go the full time.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's this generation is softer or they're just going that much harder and pushing themselves the whole time and it's like an all-out sprint. But my first little point is, how are kids supposed to learn what their limit is when they shorten the motos in the heat? And they're not going to know how to be able to push and pull back, if that makes sense. They're not going to know when they can charge and then when they have to pull back and be conservative.
Okay.
I don't think that you can learn as well. You know, like someone like Tomac is really smart, and even Jet, even though he's young, he's really smart and they know when they can push and pull back. But can someone like Casey Cochran or Drew Adams, do you think they know when they can push and pull back through... They're already pushing themselves to the max.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's not like they can easily go out there and win, by no means.
Yeah, I see your point, and I don't totally disagree with your point. And I've said this 3 times tonight because I actually asked Casey earlier, and I asked Parker Ross a minute ago, and we talked about it before they came on. So I'm going to repeat myself for the 4th time tonight. Sorry to our listeners. In my vision, in my viewpoint is, I feel like we're a little more educated, Hudson, than maybe we were when Jeff Ward was racing. No different than in other sports with concussions where we would make kids go back out and play. We know the long-term effects of that now, and same with heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And if we could keep our athletes a little healthier, then maybe we lose less riders throughout the season from just wearing themselves down. Yes, there's, like Parker just said, hey, I trained for that. I felt like I could have got some more positions at the end of that race. So in his eyes, it hurt him. But I'm looking at it, I guess, like if it was my kid out there, like I'd rather my kid be healthy. Let's keep him safe. A 25-minute race is just as badass as a 30-minute race.
Yeah, that's true. I can see it from two different points. You know,
Sure.
One where it's the safety aspect. You know, I'm sure the riders didn't make that decision. I'm sure people that were high up made that decision. And that's one point of the safety aspect.
Okay.
And then the other point is, you know, like the old dudes that are like, motocross isn't the same. We need to be harder. You know, 30 plus 2 motos or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, there's that other point where everyone's just soft now. But I want to get in. The second point I had was I've noticed that the median age in the premier class, the 450 class, and even the 250 class is getting a lot older.
Sure.
Do you think the older guys have more man strength that can help them in the heat?
Yes.
Or do you think the youth have an advantage in the heat because they're young?
No, I'm gonna say the older guys have learned to manage, and they have the man strength, and they're smarter. And they're not going all out highest heart rate. Like they know how to manage. They're just smarter with their bodies overall. So I would say the advantage would go to the older guys. Because they're not so old like your dad that they just are gonna pass out no matter what, right? They're young enough that they haven't hit that 40. Once you hit 40, things go downhill. So
I know.
Yeah,
my dad ate it today, dude.
He ate it?
Yeah, TTMX.
Oh no, is he okay?
Off the front. Yeah, he's all good.
What's up with the shorts?
I made fun of him today, though. I don't know, dude. This is like his first crash in I don't even know how long. I've seen my dad crash, I think. I could count on my hands in my lifetime.
Right. Yeah. I need your dad.
That's on videos.
I need your dad
There's
next weekend.
There's a lot of videos. Hey, yeah. Have you been paying attention for the heat of Underground? Underground's going to be hot.
Well, bro, that's where I'll excel, man, because I'm old and I literally I train in this stuff every day, Hudson. I'm out running. I've been running 600 bleachers in the heat of the day the last couple of weeks and doing push-ups. I'm ready, man. Emig is going down.
When he's
putting in the work.
Oh, sorry, Turd.
Yes, I've been putting in the work. That doesn't mean I'm going to be any good on a motorcycle, but
well, I was about to say, and Underground is going to kick his butt.
Yes, it will. I'm joking when I'm saying
I'm just saying the track.
Oh yeah,
the track's gnarly.
Yeah. But
have y'all been paying attention to all the regionals?
A little bit,
because I've noticed at Ironman, a lot of fast people didn't make it. Like even in the vet classes, like even pro class, let's say. There's a few kids that didn't make it that were really fast.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jonathan Getz made it in a few, maybe even both of the classes.
Wow.
But yeah, he may have made it in one, I think. But I know he for sure didn't make it in one. But even in the plus 40 and plus 50 classes, there was full gates and some fast people didn't make it in.
Well, I'm going to be crossing my fingers, Hudson, that happens next weekend because I need Emig and Michael Gage and Michael Keating to all DNF.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to join the train of like me and Steve, the only people who don't have tickets, dude.
No,
you don't want to join that ticket. You don't want to join the train.
Yeah, that's why I need one Andrew Short to come throw on a Dark Side jersey and pick some laps for me next weekend.
Yeah, no one.
I'll prep your gate. I'll give you the factory starting technique.
Yeah, you did that for me last year at Three Palms.
Did it help?
No, I was riding pretty shitty. Well, the gate was good, but my riding was crappy.
Well, 3 pounds is great, bro. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but you were out there helping me get the post past the gate a little bit. You were helping a little bit.
Hey, one thing I've been doing, I've been taking tips from the riders at Hangtown in the heat. I think you need to start taking more tips from people in the heat so you can use it.
Well, I can do that, man. I've been.
We need to have
hydrating
ice vests, everything.
Yeah. Well, I'll do my best to have all that ready. I'm sure we'll have a bucket there with some ice in it, but I think I'll be fine, man. I don't think I'm going to be competitive necessarily against some of those really fast guys, but I'm going to give it all I got, Hudson.
No, you got Emig in the bag.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're always way higher on my abilities than anybody else, and I appreciate that.
And it's coming from somebody who took you down.
Yeah.
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 Hey, at least just don't get lapped by Emig this time.
Well, I'm pretty sure
we're getting lapped by Emig?
Yeah.
I got lapped by Emig. Look, the reality.
I've never even seen Jeff Emig race, bro. I've never even seen him race pro. I've only seen him on his downslope, not on his upslope.
He's still really, really fast, and yes, he lapped me. If I'm being honest, I thought if I let him go, he was going to catch me anyway, but I thought if I let him go by that I was going to get the checkered because I thought he was on his last lap. So I slowed way down.
Oh, bull.
No, I did. I was so far back it didn't matter. Like I wasn't going to move up any. I heard him coming. I saw him coming. I was like, well, if I just let him go, I don't have to do another lap. But it was this white flag.
You could have kept going your same pace and he still would have caught you.
Not in the amount of time I had left. No, there was only like one straightaway left at Swan. It was at that final straightaway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was going over like the second table, and he was coming out of the corner before that, and I just like slowed way down. And then it was his white flag, so I still had to go another lap anyway. It didn't work. Anyway, all right. Hey, Hudson, thank you for jumping on here and doing Turds Take. Yeah, go up to Millville and crush it, dude. That place is a lot of fun. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I was so stoked when you texted me. I thought I got fired from my job. I thought I got fired. I haven't been on it forever.
I know. We had a few weeks breaks, and then there's traveling, and yeah, but you're still around. You're still part of it.
I still got a part-time job.
You got a part-time job with no pay, just like the rest of us.
Hudson, didn't Steve try to poach you anyways?
Me? No. I declined that offer. No. Not enough money for me. Dart pays me so good.
There you go.
Dart pays me so good. I can't be leaving them to hang dry, you know?
That's my boy, Hudson. Thank you. All right, we're gonna let you go, but we're gonna be paying attention to you. There's no signal up there, so I'll have to just kind of I won't be able to text you, but I'll be watching to see how your results are.
All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you too. Tell the family I said hi, please.
All right. You're always welcome at the farm, Dart.
I know. We're gonna make it down there this year.
Yeah, you always say that.
Are we also welcome? Or
no,
just
you're
him?
not. Just me.
Oh.
He hung up. Okay, that was Turds Take. We need to get into the TBolt USA top 5 real quick. Yeah, this is got a lot of good stuff going on.
Yep.
Oh, he said whoops. Hey, let me text him back real quick. Here, read that TBolt top 5, that TBolt USA.
Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Sorry.
Well, it all moved, so that's
sorry.
Awesome.
Good radio. Yeah. We're getting ready to do it. Just hang tight, guys. Hang tight.
All right.
There it is.
If you are if you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike. You can find handlebars kit featuring BBR, Pro Taper bars, D&N shocks, and even full bikes from YCF, Pitster Pro, Piranha. TBolt has it. They even have the stuff for those Chinese bikes that you messed up.
You were doing
so
good.
difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com.
I was gonna say he did better than you, but then he fumbled it.
Dude, I'm actually pretty good at
You
that.
blew it!
Like, I did announcing for so long.
Yeah, you kind of do have an announcer's voice.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
that silky
tonight's
smooth.
TBolt USA top 5 was sent in by our buddy Steve Hall, all the way from Australia. He gave us a list.
Aussie Steve?
He gave us a list of top 5s, and we are going to go with the top 5 tools in your shop. So that's the TBolt top 5. Why don't you go first, TJ? Well, actually, let's let Vince Pale go. This is the third
let's do
email.
that one. Yeah.
Vince says, we have a black lift table we use all the time that uses air pressure to raise and lower. So that's his number 1. Number 2 is rigid impact wrench for removing bolts. T-handles for installing bolts. 4, combination square to make sure rear axles are perfectly aligned. And 5, piece of 1/4-inch steel square stock for adjusting preload lock nuts. At the track, rigid portable handheld air compressor and a kitchen spatula for removing mud from the under fenders and skid plate between motos. Our email is motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Send us your top 5 tools in your shop. TJ, hit it up.
So for me, I just went over the stuff that I get excited to use in the shop.
Okay.
I have like almost every tool in the seems like, but I always, no matter what, I still just get excited when I get to grab like the little DAC, the little impact, the one that you have the little bit stick. That's what they're. It's like a term for impact.
It's like DAC.
Yeah, and so that one, my lift. Every time I get to use my car lift, I'm a
little jealous of that.
I love that thing. I have a wrench, or it's a screwdriver, but you can put sockets on the end of it, not like the little pieces, but actual sockets.
Yep.
And it was made by a guy who has a YouTube channel called Hand Tool Rescue, and it is like a piece of art. It's metal with wood handles that is custom made, and like it's one of my favorite tools. The power probe, every time I get to pull that thing out, which is...
I don't want to hear about what you do in the bedroom.
The power probe, basically, it's kind of like, you know what a test light is?
No, I don't.
You really don't?
You know,
yes, I know.
A fleshlight?
Yes, a fleshlight.
You mean like an electric test light for testing?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, a power probe is like one of those on steroids. I don't know if you know what that is. Like it has...
I think I can picture it, but
power.
Yeah.
Send ground, and
yes,
I love that tool. And then
I think Spencer had one of those when we were trying to track down his light issue on his camper on the way to Lakewood or something similar.
Yeah, and the my favorite tool by far is my Arc Droid, my CNC plasma cutter. Bro,
I've never used one.
That is by far the best investment I think I've ever made.
Your tool list is a little larger than mine. Do you want to go, Scotty?
Yeah, mine.
That's what all the women say about me.
You can tell, like
that was when I said it. Yeah, I set myself up.
Yeah.
It's funny going from like Vince and TJ that are like actually like mechanics to like their list because they have all like these fancy things,
Yeah.
and mine are like just real basic. Like I like just a good old fashioned flathead screwdriver because you can sometimes use them on Phillips heads too. If like you can't even find a Phillips head, you have it small enough, you just use that.
You can use it for a pick.
Yeah,
a chipper,
pry bar,
chisel.
I've done it.
It's a multi-tool.
Exactly, I've done it. It's for similar reasons, like a monkey wrench because they're adjustable, so you can use them for different things. Like
no, you don't use a monkey wrench. You get crescent wrench.
Whatever.
Monkey wrench is something different. I have one. It's like
okay. I meant to say crescent wrench. Sorry, crescent wrench is what I meant to say. I don't even like. You know, I'm probably gonna scoff at me for this, but like when I don't have the big enough socket to do my rear tire.
Yeah, I know your girlfriend said so.
Okay, I do to undo my rear tire, so I have like a big crescent wrench that I use for that.
Oh no!
God.
Yeah,
it's a 32. Just go buy a 32.
I might have an extra. Jesus.
No, I get another tied. It's fine. It's not mine's.
No,
it's
not
really
around them. Stop,
it's not. It's
man.
not though.
It is.
Yeah. Anyways, I use that.
I bet it's probably not even a good crescent wrench. It's probably like a Stanley.
It's
It's
Craftsman, I think.
It's Craftsman.
That's not bad. Okay.
Well, it depends on how old it is.
Yeah,
The new
no,
Craftsman.
it's kind of newer, but
I was thinking Heart Tools at a Walmart.
I like I bought an extension for my socket set because I don't have a set of T handles, so I like my little extension.
I know what this dude needs for freaking Christmas.
I can't even tighten a drain bolt. So what good is tools going to have for me anyways?
He doesn't have a bike.
And then needle nose pliers, same thing. They're very versatile. You can use them for different things and cut. I can use it as a knife. I can use it as
your nose hairs.
Yeah, whatever. Trimming the eyebrows, whatever you need to. And then lastly is like I used one at TJ's. He has like it's like a socket, but the head on it kind of like moves around.
Swivels, yeah.
Swivels, yeah, has a little swivel on it so that you can.
The swivel's built into the socket.
Yeah,
it's like got the little knuckle.
Yeah,
the knuckle, but the socket is swivel.
Yeah.
Those are cool. That tied with like what do you call it, like impact where it's like a battery powered
deck.
Yeah, deck. Yeah, those are nice.
All right. Okay, so mine. I'm gonna start with my Mulico air gauge, my digital air gauge. I love that thing. I take it with me all the time.
It's not a tool though; it's an air gauge.
It's a tool. That's 100% a tool.
That's like saying that's not a tool. That's a screwdriver.
Okay, fair enough.
Not a tool. It's a dark side.
It's not a tool. It's a gauge.
Oh, you know what? I was going to try to be funny. Now it's not funny, but I was going to go, all right, my favorite tools in my shop are Fear Inoculum, Inema,
that was Chase.
Undertow.
You're just stealing Chase's joke.
Anyway, did he say that?
Yeah, he said that in the group chat.
I do remember him saying something about tool. Now that but, yesterday was a bad day.
Don't act like you didn't steal his joke.
Yeah.
I really didn't remember he said that. Yesterday was a bad day. Okay. My 8mm T handle, I went specific on the T handles.
Especially weighted T handles, like the heavy ones.
Yeah, mine aren't real heavy, but they're I think they're
I would like some T handles.
Motion Pro. I'm pretty sure they're old Motion Pros.
But they're metal.
Yes.
They're not the plastic ones.
No,
so you can spin them.
Oh, yes. Yes. My Fastco spoke wrench, my torque wrench. Love that. The Motul sag tool.
Oh, just like the
digital sag tool?
Yeah, the digital one?
Yeah.
Wait, Motul makes that?
Oh, we use that. It's nice.
Yeah.
We use it on my we use it on my bike out
the
of the
digital sag tool that you see. The Slacker is made. That's like the brand is Motul, Motoo.
Oh, I'm thinking of
and
Motul.
They call it
like
the
old.
Slacker. No.
Yeah.
Same pronunciation, different spelling.
We used it at a he had it with him, and we used it at a race one time, and we did my sag in literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, we have one.
It was nice.
I have a homemade steering stem wrench that Michael Gage made for me,
like ground down so it fits, and I got one. Yeah,
it's really awesome. And I don't know what my number is right now, but I put my Ryobi cordless impact and drill set that my is that what you're calling it, DAC? Okay, that my stepdaughter bought me for Father's Day years ago. I love that thing, and I think that might be fine. But I also put in my air compressor that my dad gave me. I used to have a little shitty small portable one. Now I have one of those tanks that actually will run some stuff.
Gotcha.
So that might be 6, but those are my tools.
Heck yeah.
MotoXpod@gmail.com. Give us your list.
I'm so poor.
Well, I mean, you also don't have anywhere to store all that, right? You don't have a shop.
We have a garage.
Oh, you do have a garage. Okay,
but it's No, I'm not really mechanically inclined.
Clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with that code VITALMX, all in caps. Let's kind of knock this one out relatively quickly. This is my pick one. You guys might think this is lame, but because of the Ducati thing, and everybody's pretty excited about this new bike, right? This is an all-new bike. Would you rather have the chance to ride the Ducati, let's just say at your house, for 30 minutes? They're going to bring it out. You can ride it for 30 minutes and learn it. Or go to a race with full support from a factory team or a privateer team. They come out, they bring the rig, they bring the bike, but you get to race. But it's a bike you've rode before. It's just a Yamaha. It's just a Honda.
Oh, yeah. No, I've never rode a factory bike, so I would take the second
or
one.
Or it might even be a stock one. But I'm just saying, I guess it's the idea is the Ducati's kind of special right now versus
but they would
a normal, quote-unquote, bike with some help to go race.
But they would help me set my sag and adjust my suspension.
Support.
Okay, I would take that.
I think it's full support.
I would take that for sure.
Yeah.
I've
never even had that.
I've
so
actually
I would take
kind of had that through Ampro Yamaha, GNCCs and stuff, and even
well, not you, man.
I know. So I think I might, if it was just a 1 weekend thing, I might go.
Now,
with
do we get if we got to ride the Ducati all day at the house or for the weekend?
Yeah, for 30 minutes though. I'm going to. I'm getting the whole.
Basically, it's you get to ride the Yamaha or the Ducati for a few minutes versus almost anything else.
Then anything else.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the right answer. I just threw it together real quick, guys. Right?
You know how much? How much clout I would get being on a factory rig at a race? That would be worth the experience. I could get last place both motos.
I barely show up at a race without factory support. So
Yeah, it's 6 more weeks and you won't.
It's gonna be a little different, but I think I'm still gonna have a little bit of help.
Yeah.
All right. FXR picks for Lakewood, Colorado. FXR Performance Progression is the name of the game. With every new piece created at FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by the Muck-Off FXR Club Mix Yamaha team, Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and now Malcolm freaking Stewart. Visit FXR.com to see all they have to offer, or go to your.com to see all they have to offer, or go to your local dealership and ask for FXR. Check out the different gear lines, man. Things out some of that ability.
Happened.
Yeah.
It was
Okay, pick 4. You think
Anyways,
not working?
it's just lagging.
It's weird.
Yeah. TD 4.
For like it's gonna be back. Will be Jet and Coop.
Jacob.
Good Mac.
Here's the give me a second before we go. A little bit about we
I
got.
had my pick Parkinson and 2 in Lake. Never. London is Lake Habit.
Every
50 or something. Shit, he would have had
from the
no. He dared this. I'll make it real. I started the suit back. He did.
I don't enter right now.
It's not going to be Amazon X because it's still happening.
Yes, he did that. And Brisk Road in
Oh, that's off track.
Pretty sure
She run it.
But anyway, it was I got a Moash time. Inner's pad. I would know that's like a big deal. And I all died. Illinois myself like 8 miles from Van to the witness. It was terrible. People followed me on Instagram. It was fun. It was just get out.
What Instagram? For the sun in?
Yeah, so yeah, right with the sun. And yeah, and it was just a read.
Yeah, wait, you know what? Cool. You've never read it like
I did the most rule. A lot of it that so many videos off the ring, stuff that only TV was just fun. It's like a movie if it wasn't an area, you know what I mean? Like, really, and then I don't know how to.
Yeah, beautiful. It's tell our group you told here show.
So the way to have is
things. Probably the important desert wires. Was like
DJ out in the middle.
But I was also on the state on the side of like trails, and they got really fast. And it wouldn't call it heel. It was the mountain steep to walk like down the lat, and I went on to switch legs and the tumble down. So it was.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Good.
If you could figure out a week living that, it would be.
You got an hour writing that was here. I did a bunch of a story, a little more, all that. We're to say. Back another show. Let's see the